Chapter 875. The Barbarian Sect Master wants to apologize after the Barbarian Tribe's Sect Master had trained the few snake girls in front of him for a few days. He looked at them with a satisfied smile and said, "Not bad, not bad. I believe that when you go, you will definitely steal that expert's soul." These snake girls had been carefully trained by him. They were definitely confident in going this time. At this moment, Manly suddenly walked out from the side. "Father, are you really going?" Manly looked at the leader of the barbarian sect and asked, "You little brat, if it weren't for you, would I have gone through so much trouble?" Looking at Manly, who had suddenly stood out, the leader of the barbarian sect said angrily. After being lectured by the barbarian sect leader, Manly stood at the side, feeling wronged. Hence, the sect master of the barbarian tribe glared at Manly before leaving with his men. "That damned Xiaochangtian, Manly will never let him go," Manly said viciously, as he watched the sect leader of the barbarian sect leave with his men. Manly hated Xiaochangtian very much. His father had gone to avenge him, but when he came back, the result was not what he had imagined. Instead, his father had scolded him fiercely. Manly couldn't understand. Wasn't it just Xiaochangtian? What kind of ability did he have? Even after he came back, his father's attitude towards him had completely changed. Now he even wanted to use Snake Girl to make Xiaochangtian happy. All of this was simply too absurd. "Son, calm down. I'm afraid your father has something to hide." At this moment, Manly's mother stood up and said, "That Xiaochangtian is just a mortal. What difficulties does my father have? What could be so difficult to say?" When Manly heard his mother's words, he retorted impatiently, "Since father is like this, then don't blame me. When the time comes, I'll go find that Xiaochangtian myself." After Manly finished speaking, he angrily turned around and walked away. On the other side, after a few days of running around, the barbarian sect master and the others finally arrived at Starry Town. "It's this Starry Town. When we find Senior later, be alert." The sect master of the barbarian sect turned around and said to the people behind him, "Sect master, we all understand." The few snake girls and the great elder behind him nodded. After a while, they arrived at the Glorious Star restaurant. "White Beast, why are there so many people outside Glorious Star restaurant?" Lorraine said in a panic when the barbarian sect people arrived at the entrance of the Glorious Star restaurant. "*Mn, it's true. These people aren't here to cause trouble, right?" Seeing so many people from the barbarian sect come out at the door, the White Beast was also a little panicked. This was because the White Beast knew that these people were from the notorious barbarian sect, and the one leading them was none other than the leader of the barbarian sect. "This barbarian sect, how dare you come to this place?" At this moment, Li Jing walked over and said, "What's wrong? Little Jingzi, did the people of the barbarian sect offend you?" Hearing Li Jing's resentful words, the White Beast asked doubtfully, "Exactly. That barbarian elder wanted to snatch my sister away. But fortunately, Senior Qilin helped me chase them away. The people of the barbarian sect deserve to die." Li Jing didn't hide anything and slowly told him what had happened to him. He hated the barbarian sect very much and wished that all the members of the barbarian sect would die. "Hey, what are you people doing in front of our Glorious Star restaurant?" Then, the White Beast stood up and said to the sect master of the barbarian sect, "We are here to find Changtian Senior Xiao. I heard that Senior Xiao is at your Glorious Star restaurant. I wonder if we can meet." The leader of the barbarian sect smiled at the White Beast. At this moment, the few people who were watching by the side were surprised. When did the people of the barbarian sect become so polite? This didn't fit the style of the barbarian sect. Although the White Beast was also very surprised, it still said with a serious expression, "Senior isn't an idle person. You can't meet him just because you want to. Haha, brother, just do us barbarian sect a favor and let us go see Senior." The leader of the barbarian sect was not angry at the White Beast's words. Instead, he smiled and said, "What qualifications do you have to see Senior? With your barbarian sect's conduct, Senior definitely doesn't want to see you." At this moment, Li Jing walked out and said fiercely to the sect leader of the barbarian sect, "This barbarian sect is getting more and more shameless. Now they actually have ideas on Senior. Isn't this the barbarian sect? That's right, that's right. Isn't the leader of the barbarian sect? At this moment, many people gathered outside the Glorious Star restaurant. These people looked at the sect master of the barbarian sect and pointed at him. This was because many people knew what kind of person the barbarian sect was. The barbarian sect loved to do things that made people angry. Now, instead of staying in the territory of the barbarian sect, they actually came to their star town. Brother, look at the people around you. Can you make an exception and let us see Senior? The sect master of the barbarian sect looked at the people around him and felt a little awkward. He did not expect these people to be so blind. Why did she have to come and point fingers at them at this time? If it wasn't for the fact that they wanted to leave a good impression on their seniors, they would definitely have killed all these townspeople. Yo, why is it so lively? At this moment, Xiao Changtian suddenly popped his head out from the second floor of the Glorious Star restaurant. He was also attracted by the noisy scene downstairs, so he stuck his head out curiously. Senior, do you still remember me? When Xiao Changtian showed his head, the leader of the barbarian sect shouted in surprise. You are that lunatic. Xiao Changshan's face changed when he saw the leader of the barbarian sect. Why was this lunatic looking for him again? Senior, what is a lunatic? I am the leader of the barbarian sect. Senior. The leader of the barbarian sect shouted happily at Xiao Changtian. Senior, I have something to tell you. Is it convenient for you now? Looking at the leader of the barbarian sect, Xiao Changtian was even more certain that the leader of the barbarian sect was crazy. White Beast quickly let them come up. Xiao Changtian, who was upstairs, said to the White Beast downstairs. He was afraid that if the psychopath below suddenly went crazy and hurt the others around him, it would not be worth it. The White Beast hadn't expected that Senior would actually ask the sect master of the barbarian sect to go up. But in the end, he could only helplessly agree. Chapter 876. I've delivered the Snake Girl 1. Haha. Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the leader of the barbarian sect walked in excitedly. When he walked to the White Beast's side, he even cast a cold glance at it. Little Jing, this barbarian sect's sect master is too detestable. Just looking at him makes me hate him. Of course, the White Beast also noticed the attitude of the leader of the barbarian sect towards him. Then, he looked at Li Jing and said, although I don't know what Senior is thinking, Senior definitely won't let him off so easily. Li Jing comforted the White Beast. After all, that barbarian sect was annoying. The leader of the barbarian sect slowly led the crowd to the second floor of the Glorious Star restaurant. Senior, I finally see you again. When the leader of the barbarian sect saw Xiao Changtian, he immediately ran over and said enthusiastically. Xiao Changtian looked at the leader of the barbarian sect with a bitter smile. He really didn't know how to deal with this psychopath. Senior, I know I offended you last time, so I came here to apologize. The leader of the barbarian sect looked at Xiao Changtian and continued. Haha, actually, you don't have to be so, Xiao Changtian said with a smile. The greatest apology to him would be to never appear in front of him again. Sai Senior, that won't do. I've been busy for several days to prepare something good for you in order to apologize to you this time. The leader of the barbarian sect smiled at Xiao Changtian and said, Quick, First Elder, let those few out. Then, the leader of the barbarian sect turned around and said to the barbarian elder. With that said, under the lead of the barbarian elder, the few snake girls outside the door walked in one after another. After a while, Xiao Changtian saw a few women with long legs, white skin, big breasts, and big butts. He could even see some snake scales on their bodies. Just as Xiao Changtian was looking at these snake girls, they smiled at him and said, Hello, Senior. What does that mean? Xiao Changtian looked at the snake girls and said with a dumbfounded expression, Could it be that the sect master of the barbarian sect was giving him these women as compensation? Senior, you didn't see wrongly. The few people in front of you are the rare snake women in the Jade Lake sacred world. These snake girls were different from ordinary women. I can guarantee that these lamia will definitely make you comfortable. The leader of the barbarian sect said with a smile as he looked at the lamia and Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian finally understood what the leader of the barbarian sect was thinking. However, even if these snake girls were rare in the Jade Lake sacred world, he was not interested. The leader of the barbarian sect also noticed that Xiao Changtian was not interested in these snake girls, so his expression changed. This was a rare snake girl in the Jade Lake sacred world. How could Senior not be interested in them? Or could it be that even these Senior Lamia had played before? Then, didn't he not make Senior happy by coming to apologize to him? Xiao Changtian noticed the change in the leader's expression. Immediately, he cursed in his heart. Could it be that this psychopath was angry because he said that he didn't like the snake girls in front of him? If he was really angry, it wouldn't be good if he went crazy later. Haha, I really like these snake girls from the barbarian sect master. Let them stay. After weighing the pros and cons, Xiao Changtian smiled at the leader of the barbarian sect. The leader of the barbarian sect heaved a sigh of relief when he saw Xiao Changtian finally get rid of the snake girls. As long as they accepted these snake girls, Senior would definitely forgive them. However, it seemed that no one could resist the charm of these snake girls. At first, he thought that Senior didn't like them. He didn't expect Senior to be pretending in front of him. Senior, please don't pursue the matter from last time. Then the leader of the barbarian sect asked Xiao Changtian carefully. Don't worry, sect leader of the barbarian sect. I don't care about what happened last time. Xiao Changtian knew that the sect master of the barbarian sect was afraid that he would go and find them. However, with his strength, how could he be so stupid to find trouble with the sect? Haha, then the few of you, hurry up and serve Senior. After hearing Xiao Changtian's words, the leader of the barbarian sect immediately turned around and said happily to the snake girls behind him. No, there's no need. Thank you, sect master of the barbarian sect. I have my own arrangements for them. Xiao Changtian smiled awkwardly at the leader of the barbarian sect. He was not interested in these women at all. The leader of the barbarian sect was really making him feel uncomfortable. Oh, Senior, I understand. You just want to take advantage of the time when no one is around. The leader of the barbarian sect smiled at Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian knew what the leader of the barbarian sect meant, but he shook his head helplessly. What is that damned barbarian sect master talking to Senior inside? He hasn't come out for such a long time. At this moment, the white beast and Li Jing, who were downstairs, were looking upstairs anxiously. But you don't have to worry so much. No matter what that barbarian sect master does, he can't possibly hurt Senior. Lorraine said as she walked to the two of them. The sect master of the barbarian sect can't hurt Senior, but I'm afraid that the sect master of the barbarian sect will play some dirty tricks again. Li Jing said angrily. This barbarian sect master looked like a decent person, but he was actually evil to the bone. If he dared to come up with any bad ideas, he would not let him know how powerful he was later. Senior, since I've already sent this Lamia over, well, go back first. The leader of the barbarian sect smiled at Zhang Tian and said, the mission this time could be considered to have been successfully completed. As long as it was manly, he would never cause trouble again. Then this Senior would definitely not take revenge on their barbarian sect again. Since you want to leave, I won't send you off. Xiao Changtian couldn't wait for this lunatic to leave. Seeing that the leader of the barbarian sect was finally leaving, he heaved a sigh of relief. Finally, under the watchful eyes of the people downstairs, the leader of the barbarian sect walked out with the barbarian elder in a triumphant manner. What happened? Why didn't Senior look for him and let them go just like that? Li Jing said angrily as he looked at the proud expressions of the barbarian sect master and elder. Little Jingzi, calm down. Senior might have his own plans. Although the white beast was also very surprised, it did not react too violently. Chapter 877. Snake Girl has sent it over 1. At this moment, Xiao Changtian was looking at the few snake girls in front of him. He frowned and thought about what to do with them. Senior, do you need our service? Senior, you don't have to be so polite. Senior, we're here. After the barbarian sect master left, the snake girls all smiled and walked towards Zhang Tian. No, there's really no need. You don't have to come over. Xiao Changtian waved his hand and said as he saw the snake girls walking towards him. "Aya, senior, you don't have to be so polite. The barbarian sect master has taught us many things." One of the snake girls stepped forward and touched Xiao Changshan's chest. That's right. The barbarian sect master has taught us many things. Don't worry." Another snake girl stepped forward, smiled at Xiao Changtian, and placed her hand on his leg. "Senior." At this moment, Lai Jing suddenly stood at the door. He looked at the scene inside, and stood there with his mouth agape. "Senior, the door isn't locked." Lai Jing stammered as he snapped out of his daze. He then closed the door behind him. He had originally wanted to ask Senior why he had let the sect master of the barbarian sect go. Who knew that she would see such an erotic scene as soon as she went upstairs? Sigh. Listen to my explanation. It's really not what it looks like." Xiao Changtian didn't expect that he would be seen by others before he could react. "Don't touch me. Stand still," Xiao Changtian said to the snake girls. "Little Jingzi, so fast. Why did you come down so quickly? Did you find out anything?" The white beast asked curiously as it watched Lai Jing come down from upstairs. Do not look at evil. Lai Jing muttered as he looked at the white beast. Hearing Lai Jing's words, the white beast was confused. "What do you mean by don't look inconvenient? Little Jingzi, what are you talking about?" However, at this moment, Xiao Changtian walked out of the room. He stood in the corridor on the second floor and said, "White beast Lorraine, come up quickly. I have a task for you too." "All right." After the white beast and Lorraine looked at Lai Jing, they went up to the second floor. That barbarian sect actually sent over so many snake girls. I can't deal with these snake girls now. So why don't we just leave them in Glorious Star Restaurant? Xiao Changtian looked at the two of them and said indifferently, "What is it? Snake girl? Senior, is this snake girl going to stay in Glorious Star Restaurant?" The white beast and Lorraine were shocked when they heard Xiao Changshan's words. The two of them knew that Snake Girl was a rare item in the Jade Lake sacred world. He didn't expect the barbarian sect to be so generous as to send such a rare thing over. No wonder Senior let them go. "Yes, I already have an idea. Let them perform at Xinghua Restaurant. They can dance on the stage during dinner." Xiao Changtian nodded and said, "With the help of these snake girls, Glorious Star Restaurant's business would probably be even more prosperous." He was really a genius. This idea was really too brilliant. "Senior, are you sure you want these snake girls to perform in the Glorious Star Restaurant?" After all, such a rare species was enough to shock many people. But now there were so many of them at once. Senior didn't keep them for himself, but actually wanted them to perform in Xinghua Restaurant. "I'm really sure. I've already considered this matter. Just do as I say." Xiao Changtian waved his hand nonchalantly. He wasn't interested in these snake girls anyway. He might as well let these snake girls help him earn some money. On the other side, in the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. "Pavilion Master, urgent report." A member of the secret pavilion quickly ran to the pavilion master's room and said. The pavilion master of the secret pavilion looked at the secret report in that person's hand, and his expression became serious. "You can go down first." The pavilion master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets said to him, after receiving the secret report from the person. "Pavilion master, is there a new situation in the Jade Nether Kingdom?" The great elder of the secret pavilion said, as he looked at the letter in the pavilion master's hand. "It is indeed from the Jade Nether Kingdom." Then, the pavilion master quickly opened the letter. Damn it, this demon is simply too detestable. After reading the letter in her hand, she said angrily, "Pavilion master, what's wrong? What's going on?" The great elder of the prophecy pavilion immediately went forward and asked when he saw the pavilion master's reaction. This damn demon actually allied with the Jade Nether Kingdom's imperial family. Many sects in the Jade Nether Kingdom had been invaded by the demons. The pavilion master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets said, "This demon is actually so cunning now. He actually allied with the Jade Nether Kingdom's imperial family." The great elder's expression darkened when he heard the pavilion master's words. "By the way, pavilion master, how did you find out that the Jade Nether Kingdom's imperial family is colluding with the demons?" Then, The great elder looked at the pavilion master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and asked, although there's no concrete evidence, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king has already come to a conclusion after a few days of observation. Moreover, it was not strange for the demons to do such a thing. The pavilion master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets looked into the distance and said slowly, Pavilion master, when are we going to help the Jade Nether Kingdom? After all, the longer this matter dragged on, the more people the demons would hurt. There's no time to lose. Since the Jade Nether Kingdom has sent out such a letter, it means that the Jade Nether Kingdom's ruler is no longer able to deal with such a situation on his own. He could tell from the contents of the Pavilion Master's letter. At this moment, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was panicking towards the demons. In that case, I'll go find Senior immediately. After saying this to the Pavilion Master of the Secret Pavilion, the Great Elder walked out. Not long after, the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets arrived at Xiao Changshan's Glorious Star Restaurant. Senior, 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 Senior. Just as the Great Elder of the Secret Pavilion walked into the Glorious Star Restaurant, he saw a few snake girls inside. Then he stood rooted to the ground in shock. Aya! Great Elder, you're here. Xiao Changtian, who was standing inside, said with a smile as he watched the Great Elder walk to the door. Great Elder, why are you standing at the door? Come in quickly. Senior, these are snake girls? Looking at the few snake girls in the room, the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion slowly asked. This lamia is a rare species. How did Senior get so many of them at once? That's right. These are the snake girls. If we let this snake girl perform in the Glorious Star Restaurant, it will definitely increase the customer flow in the restaurant. Xiao Changtian looked at the snake girls and said with satisfaction. Chapter 878. Pichio is the most naughty one. Senior, you're playing true flower. I can't help but admire you. Looking at the scene in front of him, the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets could only give Xiao Changtian a thumbs up. Just these snake girls alone could attract countless customers. Senior, you have a business mind. This move was really brilliant. Why are you looking for me for the Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets? Xiao Changtian came back to his senses and asked the Great Elder. Senior, didn't I come to look for you a few days ago? It was that time when the other party replied to the matter of the demons. That's why the Pavilion Master wants us to go as soon as possible. The Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets looked at Xiao Changtian and said slowly, what about the demon race? In that case, I'll be ready to set off at any time. Xiao Changtian looked at the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and became serious. All right, Senior. Pavilion Master means that if it's possible, we can set off now. The Great Elder nodded at Xiao Changtian. This matter couldn't be delayed any longer. If it was taken off, who knew how many innocent people would suffer? All right, First Elder, I'll pack up and we'll set off. Xiao Changtian nodded to the Great Elder and walked into his courtyard. He had to go back and explain everything properly. After he left, he definitely could not let Pichio come back to the Glorious Star Restaurant. Soon, Xiao Changtian returned to his courtyard. Linger, I'm leaving this time. You must take good care of this Pichio. Xiao Changtian, who had returned to the courtyard, looked at Feng Ling and said seriously, this Pichio is the most mischievous. I'll have to trouble you to put in more effort. Senior, what do you mean by this? Isn't this what I should do? Feng Ling looked at Xiao Changtian and said with a smile, woo woo. At this moment, Pichio suddenly appeared beside Xiao Changtian. Looking at Xiao Changtian, Pai Wu cried out twice. I'm leaving this time. If you dare to steal gold coins again, I'll break your legs. Xiao Changtian looked at Pichio and said fiercely, woo woo. After Xiao Changtian finished speaking, Pichio immediately pulled Xiao Changshan's trousers and immediately pulled Xiao Changtian into the house. What is this Pichio doing? I still have things to do. Don't cause trouble for me. Xiao Changtian said as he watched Pichio pull him. However, Xiao Changtian wanted to break free, but Pichio was very strong. Xiao Changtian was afraid that if he used too much strength, it would not be good if he broke Pixia's teeth. All right. What do you want me to do in the house? Finally, he walked into his room. Pai Xiu finally stopped. Woo woo. Then Xiao Changtian saw Pai Xiu crawl under his bed. Let me see what you're hiding under the bed. Looking at Pai Xiu's actions, Xiao Changtian couldn't help but lie down. F***ck. Why are there so many gold coins? Damn Pai Xiu, did you steal my gold coins again? Xiao Changtian said in surprise when he saw so many gold coins under the bed. Woo woo. Hearing Xiao Changtian say that he stole his gold coins, Pai Xiu immediately whimpered in grievance. However, Xiao Changtian had learned his lesson from the previous incident, so he did not soften his heart when he saw Pai Xiu whimpering in grievance. Instead, he pulled him out from under the bed. Take it with you obediently. I'm going to check my gold coins now. If I lose one gold coin, you'll have to break a leg today. Xiao Changtian looked at Pai Xiu and said fiercely. The system was just so unreliable. This Pai Xiu was even trying to make money for him. It was already good enough that he did not steal his gold coins. Xiao Changtian quickly walked to the other side of the wall. He patted the wall, and a huge secret compartment appeared. The hidden compartment was filled with gold coins. F***ck. Those gold coins under the bed really didn't steal from me. Xiao Changtian said in surprise as he looked at his gold coins in the secret compartment. This was really strange. Where did Pai Xiu find the gold coins under his bed? Senior, isn't the Pai Xiu used to make money? At this moment, Feng Linger walked over and said. In order to get along well with Pai Xiu after Senior left, Feng Linger tried to put in some good words for Pai Xiu. After Pai Xiu heard Feng Linger's words, the way he looked at Feng Linger changed. There's actually such a good thing. Hearing Feng Linger's words, Xiao Changtian said in surprise. That bed was worth at least 200,000 gold coins. This Pai Xiu actually made up for everything he had eaten before. If that was the case, then this Pai Xiu was not completely useless. That's right, Senior. You have to believe that the legend of the Pai Xiu is not for nothing. Feng Linger naturally noticed the change in the way Pai Xiu looked at her, so she followed up. Since that's the case, we have to keep an eye on this Pai Xiu, in case he steals food again. After Xiao Changtian finished speaking to Feng Linger, he glared fiercely at Pai Xiu. Senior, don't worry. Hearing Feng Linger's words, Xiao Changtian nodded and walked out. After a while, Xiao Changtian returned to the entrance of the Glorious Star restaurant. Senior, let's set off immediately. The pavilion master has already given me instructions. Seeing Xiao Changtian return, the great elder nodded. At first, he wanted the pavilion master to explain to them. However, when he remembered that the pavilion master was just an ordinary businessman in front of Senior, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets gave up and went with Senior. Meanwhile, in the Jade Nether Kingdom, Ruler, I've already sent a request to the people from the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. A cultivator said to the Jade Nether Kingdom's king, who was in the Jade Nether Kingdom's main hall. Even if I have to pay a great price, I will find out who the demon adulterer is. After hearing the cultivator's words, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked into the distance and said fiercely, country ruler, not good, not good. Another sect has come to report that they have been killed. At this moment, a middle-aged man walked out of the hall and said loudly, Prime Minister Liu, which sect is in trouble this time? Looking at the middle-aged man, the Jade Nether King took a deep breath and asked, Ruler, this time, 2 or 3 of the sects in the north of the city were attacked by the demons. Several people in the sect have disappeared. Prime Minister Liu said to the Jade Nether King in front of him, It's useless for us to intervene in this matter. In that case, let's wait for the people from the secret pavilion to come and save us. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king said helplessly. Chapter 879. Someone from the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets has arrived, reporting, Ruler, the Pavilion Master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets has sent news. At this moment, another cultivator came over and said loudly, Speak. The Prophecy Pavilion sent the Prophecy Pavilion's Grand Elder, and an unknown person. However, the people from the Secret Pavilion seem to have said that that person was their senior. The cultivator quickly replied. Just 2 people? Prime Minister Lu said with a frown. Prime Minister Lu, don't tell me you don't know the strength of the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets? The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at Prime Minister Lu and said, Ruler, but there are quite a number of demons who have come for this disaster. Even if the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was powerful, how could he deal with so many demons? Prime Minister Lu said worriedly. The devil race's infiltration into their Jade Nether Kingdom was already very serious. If they did not stop it quickly, the Jade Nether Kingdom would probably change hands. Prime Minister Lu, as long as we capture the person who colluded with the demons in the imperial family, this situation should be resolved very quickly. Therefore, I feel that even if he sends 2 people, it shouldn't be a problem. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at Prime Minister Lu and said slowly. It was not that the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was not worried about the situation in the Jade Nether Kingdom, but he trusted the Prophecy Pavilion. With the Prophecy Pavilion's help, they should be able to successfully overcome this crisis. Ruler, since you have put it this way, then I have no other choice. Prime Minister Lu sighed as he looked at the Jade Underworld King. In Prime Minister Liu's eyes, the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets had to send an army to resolve this problem. Oh right, Ruler. I want to know what the strength of the senior, who came with the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion, is like. Prime Minister Lu then asked the Jade Nether King. I don't know about this either. You heard it too. The Pavilion Master of the Secret Pavilion didn't give me an accurate answer. However, even the Pavilion Master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets said that he was his senior. His strength must be extraordinary. I don't think you need to worry about that. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at Prime Minister Lu and consoled him. This Prime Minister Lu was his right-hand man, and he was very concerned about the Jade Nether Kingdom's matters. Ever since the demon invasion, it had been Prime Minister Lu who had helped him run around. Therefore, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was extremely grateful to Prime Minister Lu. If that's the case, I'll wait here for the people from the secret pavilion. At this moment, the people in the city were in a panic and did not dare to go out. There were very few people outside. Prime Minister Lu nodded. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Jade Nether Kingdom, Prime Minister Sun, you can't do it now. The current country ruler would go to Prime Minister Lu if he had any problems. You only have your position but no power. A skinny man who was standing in front of a middle-aged man said, Ha ha ha, skinny monkey, what's the hurry? This is only the first step of my plan. The middle-aged man called Prime Minister Sun said with a smile. But Prime Minister Sun, I heard that the ruler has asked the people of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets to help. You have to be careful. Shouho looked at Premier Sun and said with a smile. Someone from the Heaven Secrets Pavilion? Ha ha ha, that person is nothing. It's not like you don't know that there are so many demon race people behind me. Even if the entire Heaven Secret Pavilion came, they wouldn't be a match for them. After hearing this news, Prime Minister Sun waved his hand indifferently. In his heart, the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was no match for the demons at all. How many people did the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets send this time? But then, Premier Sun looked at Skinny Monkey and asked, Haha, Prime Minister Sun, how much do you think? Skinny Monkey smiled at Premier Sun after hearing his words. Don't try to sell a lawsuit in front of me. Tell me quickly, did they really send someone from the pavilion? Prime Minister Sun glared at Skinny Monkey and said, Ha ha ha, Prime Minister Sun, you guessed wrong. This time, the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets only sent 2 people. Shouho looked at Premier Sun with a smile. Ha ha ha, what a joke. The secret pavilion is so big, but they actually sent 2 people this time. The 2 of them had even helped the Jade Nether Kingdom through the crisis. After they came, it was hard to say whether they could protect the Jade Nether Kingdom. Premier Sun laughed out loud after hearing Shouho's words. The reason why Prime Minister Sun had allied with the demon race was because the demon race wanted to find the Jade Nether Kingdom's treasure. If Prime Minister Sun could help the demon race find the treasure, the demon race would agree to help Prime Minister Sun sit on the throne of the Jade Nether Kingdom. Prime Minister Sun was immediately moved by the proposal of the demons. Thus, he chose to cooperate with the demons without hesitation. But Prime Minister Sun did not know where the Jade Nether Kingdom's treasure was. However, Prime Minister Sun had heard that some sect in the Jade Nether Kingdom knew where the treasure was hidden. However, he did not know which sect it was. Therefore, Prime Minister Sun cooperated with the demons to capture some people from various sects to threaten them, to tell them the location of the treasure. However, even though they had captured many people, they had not been able to ask about the whereabouts of the Jade Nether Kingdom's treasure. However, Prime Minister Sun was not in a hurry, because the demons had given him a long time and a lot of manpower. Therefore, Prime Minister Sun was not afraid that the people from the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets would come, reporting an invitation from the country ruler. At this moment, a servant from Prime Minister Sun's residence rushed in. Invitation letter? Prime Minister Sun said in surprise. The people from the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets have come to help. Tonight, a welcoming ceremony will be held in the Imperial Palace. I hope Prime Minister Sun can arrive. Looking at the invitation letter, Premier Sun muttered. Ha ha ha, speak of the devil. The people from the Heaven Secrets Pavilion actually arrived so quickly. However, he did not know what the country ruler was thinking. Was it worth it to prepare for just those two? It was simply a waste of time. Premier Sun looked at Skinny Monkey and laughed. However, this is also a good time for us to see just how strong the two people sent by the secret pavilion are. Skinny Monkey, tonight you will come with me. We will go together. After hearing Premier Sun's words, Skinny Monkey immediately nodded. After all, they were going to laugh at the Heaven's Secret Pavilion and the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. At this moment, in the main hall of the Jade Nether Kingdom, Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, you're finally here. Seeing the Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion walking over, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king immediately went forward to welcome him. Country ruler, you're too polite. The Pavilion Master sent us here this time, because you must have encountered some difficult problem that you can't solve. The Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion asked the Jade Nether Kingdom's king politely. It's a long story. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king sighed at the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion. Chapter 880. The Servant of the Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. 1. However, just as the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was conversing with the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion, Prime Minister Lu was staring at Xiao Changtian with a mocking look in his eyes. Ruler, I have something to tell you. Before the king of the Jade Nether Kingdom could finish speaking with the Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion, Prime Minister Lu shouted at the king. In that case, you two go first. The Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion tactfully shut his mouth. Then, Prime Minister Lu pulled the Jade Nether Kingdom's king far away without a word. Ruler, are you sure that the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets sent these two people? Prime Minister Lu, who was standing in the corner, asked the Jade Underworld King with a serious expression. Indeed. Others don't know, but don't you know? That was the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at Prime Minister Lu curiously. What was this Prime Minister Lu thinking? But ruler, didn't you say that the Prophecy Pavilion sent a Great Elder and a Senior? However, the person who followed the first Elder was clearly immortal. Looking at the Jade Nether Kingdom's lord, Prime Minister Liu's expression turned ugly, because he felt that their country's ruler seemed to have been played by the people of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. Although the elder's strength seemed very powerful, the person beside him could not feel a trace of spiritual power from him no matter how Prime Minister Lu tried. How could this be? When the Jade Nether Kingdom's king heard Prime Minister Liu's words, he frowned. At first, he had been focused on the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion, and had not paid much attention to the senior beside him. He thought that since he was a senior, he must be an expert. But what was Prime Minister Lu talking about? Ruler, if you don't believe me, you can take a look for yourself. That person is just a mortal. He doesn't have any spiritual power at all. Prime Minister Lu looked at Xiao Changtian in the distance, and said seriously. Xiao Changtian, who was standing in his original spot, saw Prime Minister Lu, and the Jade Nether Kingdom's king turning around to look at him from afar. Xiao Changtian even smiled at the two of them. It's true. That person is really just a mortal. After hearing Prime Minister Liu's words, although the Jade Nether Kingdom's king did not believe it, he still released his spiritual power to check. One wouldn't know if they didn't look, but when they saw it, they were shocked. The person beside the great elder of the prophecy pavilion was clearly immortal. How could this be? That was impossible. The pavilion master of the secret pavilion had personally said that that person was their senior. How could their senior be immortal? At this moment, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king muttered in confusion. This was completely different from what he had imagined. What was the use of sending such a mortal? Ruler, could it be that the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets is trying to trick us? I've already sent out the invitations you wanted to send. If the other officials saw that there was only such a powerful expert at night, I'm afraid the situation is not easy to control. Prime Minister Liu was doing this for the greater good of the Jade Nether Kingdom. The Jade Nether Kingdom was already in a state of panic because of the demon race, and now, the Prophecy Pavilion had actually used such a move on them. Was the heavens trying to destroy their Jade Nether Kingdom? Prime Minister Liu, do you think it's possible that the senior from the Heaven Secrets Pavilion didn't come with the great elder of the Heaven Secrets Pavilion? The person behind Elder Tienga might be his servant. Right at this moment, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king thought of a reasonable explanation. After all, how could a place as big as the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets do such a thing? One had to know that it was better to trust the secret pavilion than anyone else. After all, the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was the most trustworthy organization in the entire Jade Lake Sacred World. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at Prime Minister Liu and said, "Ruler, there's only one possibility now. That person is the servant of the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets." He didn't know when that senior would come. After getting a reasonable explanation, Prime Minister Liu was relieved. That's right, he must have been thinking too much. Why would the secret pavilion send such a person? The Jade Nether Kingdom did not say anything else and stepped forward. "Great Elder, sorry to keep you waiting. We had a small situation just now. I hope you don't mind." The Jade Nether Kingdom's king said apologetically as he walked up to the Grand Elder of the Heavenly Pavilion. "It's fine. After all, our purpose for coming here this time is to help your Jade Nether Kingdom." The Great Elder of the Secret Pavilion smiled and said, "Great Elder, this is a long story. Moreover, the journey from Stellar Town to our Jade Underworld Kingdom is very long. You must be very tired after such a long journey. Why don't I tell you about it at the reception tonight?" The Jade Nether Kingdom's king asked the Prophecy Pavilion's Grand Elder. "We can do whatever we want. Well, listen to your arrangements." The Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion did not care about this. In any case, they would not leave so easily unless they helped the Jade Nether Kingdom find the Devil Race. Following that, the Grand Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and Xiao Changtian followed the servants into the room that the Jade Nether Kingdom's king had prepared beforehand. "Senior, he'll have to trouble you with this matter," the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets said to Xiao Changtian after they entered the room. "No trouble, no trouble. After all, I promised you." Xiao Changtian didn't find this matter troublesome. After all, as long as he helped the secret pavilion deal with the demons, the secret pavilion would give him the information of the spirit tree seed for free. In the end, this could be considered an equivalent exchange. However, when I came here, I could feel that the Jade Nether Kingdom was indeed being persecuted by the demons. There were not many people on the streets. Xiao Changtian knew that the devil race was not simple. Therefore, it would take him a lot of effort to deal with them. Moreover, his cultivation base was considered trash in the Jade Lake Sacred World. At this moment, Xiao Changtian suddenly remembered that he could use the spiritual crystal points to upgrade his cultivation in the system. He could take advantage of this period of time to improve his cultivation a little. Then he wouldn't lose so badly. After he finished talking to the Great Elder, Xiao Changtian went into the room and locked the door. "System, didn't you say that you could exchange 10 crystals for 1 cultivation point?" Xiao Changtian closed the door and asked the system. "Yes, host. As long as you want to increase your cultivation, you can exchange for spiritual crystal points. However, The system warmly reminds you that a little cultivation is not very useful. The system seemed to be smiling at Xiao Changtian. In that case, I have 32,600 crystals left. If 1 point of cultivation was not enough, he could exchange the remaining 600 crystals for cultivation. Xiao Changtian gritted his teeth and said. Chapter 881, Is that senior here? 1. Are you sure you want to exchange 600 crystals for cultivation? After hearing little Changshan's words, the system seemed to be uncertain. Of course I'm sure. Xiao Changtian said to the system. Ding! The host has completed the exchange of 600 crystals for 60 cultivation points. The system's voice sounded again very quickly. With this 60 points of cultivation, although it's still very weak, but it's much stronger than before. Xiao Changtian could also feel the changes in his body after obtaining the 60 points of cultivation, but he couldn't tell exactly where it was. However, he knew that becoming stronger was the right thing to do. Not long after, the sky gradually darkened. Do, senior. The people from the Jade Nether Kingdom said that we should attend the welcoming banquet. At this moment, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets knocked on Xiao Changshan's door. Not long after, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and Xiao Changtian arrived at the welcoming banquet. Great elder, you're here. We've been waiting here for a long time. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king smiled as he led the Prophecy Pavilion's great elder to the seat beside him. Ruler, if I sit here, then the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion looked at the Jade Nether Kingdom's king, and then at Xiao Changtian. Oh, please sit beside me. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king had not expected the great elder to be so friendly to others. Even his own servant had to find a seat for him. Xiao Changtian did not have any objections to the arrangements made by the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. After all, he could sit anywhere he wanted. Ruler, I heard that our Jade Nether Kingdom has an expert from the Heaven Secret Pavilion. Quickly let me see where the hero is. At this moment, Premier Sun walked straight towards the Jade Nether Kingdom's king from the entrance of the banquet and asked, Ha, Prime Minister Sun, you look much better these days. The person beside me is the great elder of the Heaven Secret Pavilion. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king smiled as he looked at Prime Minister Sunday. Even until today, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king did not know that Prime Minister Sun had actually colluded with the demon race. They were harming the people of the Jade Nether Kingdom. Yo, great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion, it's an honor to meet you. I didn't expect you to really come. Looks like you'll have to bear with our Jade Nether Kingdom this time. The reason why Prime Minister Sun had not been discovered by the Jade Nether Kingdom's king to be colluding with the demons was because Prime Minister Sun usually disguised himself very well, making it impossible for others to detect him. Prime Minister, you're too polite. Since it's the ruler who invited us, we will definitely do our best. The great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets also said politely to Premier Sunday, Oh right. Didn't you say that you came with the great elder and a senior? Why don't I see that senior? After Prime Minister Sun finished speaking, he looked around, but he didn't see the senior that the ruler was talking about. The reason why Prime Minister Sun wanted to know where that senior was because he wanted to quickly determine the strength of the expert they were talking about, so that he could find a countermeasure. That's right, First Elder, didn't you come with a senior? Where is that senior? At this moment, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was also a little puzzled. How did that senior arrive? Chapter 882. Stabilize the situation first. 1. One had to know that the pavilion master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was already a saint king. If it was that senior, he would probably already be a sage sect. With the strength of the sage sect, they should be able to find the spy of the demon race no matter what. Prime Minister Liu, if that person isn't the great elder's servant, then he must be their senior. The Jade Nether King said helplessly to Prime Minister Liu, What is it? How could this be? That person was really their senior. Prime Minister Liu felt that he had been greatly deceived at this moment. He looked at the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion with anger. These people actually dared to play with them like this. It was simply extremely shameful. Prime Minister Lu, there's nothing we can do now. All the officials are here. So it doesn't mean that any of them is a spy. If the spy finds out that the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets has sent a saint ruler and a mortal, the situation will become even more difficult to deal with. Although the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was extremely angry, he looked at Prime Minister Lu and said helplessly, as they still did not know who the spy was, they could not blindly cause a conflict with the secret pavilion. In that case, let's wait until the banquet is over. Prime Minister Lu also knew that if the civil and military officials knew about this, it would probably cause panic again. It was better not to say anything about the matter for the time being. Haha, everyone, this time, our Jade Nether Kingdom has invited people from the Prophecy Pavilion. With their help, our Jade Nether Kingdom will definitely change. In order to stabilize the overall situation, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king spoke to everyone present at the banquet. That's great. I have the help of the secret pavilion. That's right, that's right. With the help of the Prophecy Pavilion, our Jade Nether Kingdom will definitely be able to overcome this crisis. The spy who colluded with the demon race will be found by the people of Tianji Pavilion. After hearing the Jade Nether King's words, everyone below discussed excitedly. The secret pavilion had always been synonymous with eradicating the demon race. This was because the secret pavilion had defeated the demon race once 100 years ago. Since then, whenever the demon race was mentioned, people would immediately think of asking the secret pavilion for help. Ha ha ha. These people still don't know that they're being kept in the dark, even when they're about to die. Premier Sun stood in the distance and shook his head with a smile when he saw how excited these people were. Prime Minister, your move is still the best. If you become the ruler, don't forget me, Skinny Monkey. Skinny Monkey looked at the scene and complimented. He did not expect that after so many years, Skinny Monkey would finally be able to make a name for himself. As long as Prime Minister Sun became the ruler of the country, he would definitely be glorious. Great Elder, I've made you wait. After the Jade Nether Kingdom's king finished speaking, he walked to the side of the Prophecy Pavilion's first elder and said with a smile, the current situation in our Jade Nether Kingdom is that many people from the sects have gone missing. In the places where they went missing, many traces of the demon race have been found. It wasn't very serious a few days ago, but it has become more and more rampant in the past few days. That was why he came to the Prophecy Pavilion. Although the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was extremely dissatisfied with the Prophecy Pavilion's actions this time, the Prophecy Pavilion's Grand Elder was a saint ruler after all. There was only one saint ruler in the entire Jade Nether Kingdom. However, that expert from the Yaoming Kingdom's Saint King did not care about this matter. Even if the Yaoming Kingdom's king paid a high price to invite him, that expert would not care. If that's the case, Jade Nether King, how do you know that the demon race is colluding with your imperial family? After hearing about the situation in the Jade Nether Kingdom, the Prophecy Pavilion's Grand Elder's expression turned solemn. We didn't know at first, but a sect member escaped from the hands of the demons. He said that the demons were colluding with the royal family. But before we could ask about the exact situation, he lost his life. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king sighed. He had wanted to find the spy in this matter, but that person had disguised himself too well. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king had not been able to find him even now. Also, it's not just the people of the various sections. Even Prime Minister Liu and Prime Minister Sun's families are threatened by the demons. Prime Minister Liu's daughter was only 19 years old, but she was captured by the demons. This was the reason why Prime Minister Liu paid so much attention to the demon race. That demon is simply too detestable. He can actually do such a thing. And that spy, if we catch him, it wouldn't be too much for him to whip his corpse 100 times. Xiao Changtian, who was at the side, naturally heard the Jade Nether King's words. He looked at the Jade Nether King and said angrily. After hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Prime Minister Liu rolled his eyes impatiently. This mortal was really annoying. Not only did he not have any strength, but he also had to stand out like this. However, Prime Minister Liu didn't show it out of respect for the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. Don't worry about this matter, country ruler. We will definitely help you resolve it. Although the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets did not know if he could find the spy of the demon race, he believed that with Senior around, this would definitely not be a problem. Haha, with your words I can rest assured. The king of the Jade Nether Kingdom nodded. Even a Saint King should be able to make the demons fear him. At this moment, the king of the Jade Nether Kingdom was comforting himself in his heart. The next day, Xiao Changtian was woken up by a knock on the door. Senior, this time an official's family was captured by the demons. The voice of the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion sounded outside the door. There's no time to lose. Let's go to the scene now to see what's going on. Xiao Changtian didn't hesitate. He quickly tidied up and followed the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets to the official's house. Not long after, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and Xiao Changtian arrived at the official's house. Prime Minister Liu, you came so early. Standing at the door of the official was Prime Minister Liu, and the official, elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, please help me take a look. Although the people who were captured this time were not our family members, they were still servants who had been with me for so many years. When the official saw the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, he immediately walked up and said, "Let's go take a look." Then, under the lead of the official, Xiao Changtian and the others came to the place where the servant was taken away. It looks like she was taken away by the Asides at night. Xiao Changtian muttered to himself as he looked into the room. D***MN, why did your pet die too? Just as Xiao Changtian walked to the bed, he suddenly felt the tip of his foot kick something. He bent down and saw the corpse of the demon beast under the bed. Chapter 883. The demon race is too much. 1. This was our gatekeeper, the howling firmament beast. But it was actually killed by that detestable demon. Looking at the howling firmament beast on the ground, which still had traces of demonic chi, the official's face was filled with anger. One had to know that the howling firmament beast's strength had already reached the Saint Venerable realm. No one had ever dared to touch it when it was guarding their residence. But now, he was actually killed by the demon race without even being discovered. From this, one could see how terrifying that demon race person was. Looks like that demon is indeed not simple. The great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion nodded and said, "Senior, what do you think of this matter? If we can figure out why these demons captured these people, then we can make a good judgment." Xiao Changtian looked at everyone and said in a deep voice, because according to the current situation, Xiao Changtian could feel that the demon must have some purpose. However, Xiao Changtian didn't know the exact purpose. Also, did the demons capture these people at night? Xiao Changtian looked at Prime Minister Liu and asked, "Yes, those demons only move out at night. However, we sent people to patrol the city day and night, but we didn't find any traces of the demons." Prime Minister Liu nodded to Xiao Changtian. Although Xiao Changtian didn't have much strength, he looked like he had a clear mind. He wasn't useless. We really want to capture those demons, but even if we patrol day and night, that demon might not appear in any sect or official's house next time. After Prime Minister Liu finished speaking, he sighed heavily. At this moment in Prime Minister Sun's house, "My lord, don't worry. During this period of time, in order to find that treasure, I have not stopped." Prime Minister Sun looked at Holy Master 6 and said, Holy Master 6 had just been sent over to take over the Jade Nether Kingdom's matters. Sacred Lord Demonic Flame felt that the progress here was too slow. It had already been a month, but there was still no news about that thing in the Jade Nether Kingdom. Therefore, Holy Lord Mo Yin sent Holy Lord 6 to help Prime Minister Sun complete this matter. "You didn't stop, but you didn't find anything about that thing." Holy Master 6 said disdainfully, as he looked at Prime Minister Sunday. "Sacred Lord Demonic Flame has said that if we can't find the treasure in half a month, we'll be able to find it. Then the Holy Master could consider replacing him." Ever since Saint Master 6 escaped from Star Town, he had been staying in the demon race, thinking about how to deal with Xiao Changtian. However, before he could come up with a solution, he was sent by Sacred Lord Demonic Flame to complete this mission. However, Saint Lord 6 had heard that the great elder of the prophecy pavilion and Xiao Changtian were also here. Thus, he accepted the mission without hesitation and came to the Jade Nether Kingdom. Sir, please don't. I have been doing my best to complete this matter. Although there has been no progress for the time being, I believe that as long as I capture enough people, someone will know the whereabouts of the treasure. Prime Minister Sun said anxiously after hearing Holy Master Isix's words. Then whether this matter can be accomplished will depend on your performance in the next half a month. Holy Master Six glanced at Prime Minister Sun and said slowly. Not only was he going to help Sacred Lord Demonic Flame find the treasure in the Jade Nether Kingdom, but he was also going to teach Xiao Changtian a lesson. I heard that the people from the Heaven Secrets Pavilion are here as well. Where are they now? Then, Holy Master Six asked Prime Minister Sun about Xiao Changshan's whereabouts. They're probably at the official's house of the person they captured. However, my lord, please don't worry. I've probed yesterday. Other than the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, who has the strength of a saint ruler, the other person is only a mortal. And it was just a saint king. He believed that so many demons would definitely be able to defeat him. Prime Minister Sun immediately said excitedly when he heard Holy Master Six's words. Alright, I didn't ask you that much. I just asked where they are now. Saint Master Six waved his hand indifferently. Other than finding what the demon flame Saint Lord wanted, his other goal was to make Xiao Changtian suffer a beating. After all, Saint Lord Six had never been so humiliated before. He had been humiliated twice in Xiao Changshan's glorious star restaurant. No matter what, he had to make Xiao Changtian pay a price. Your Excellency, you can rest assured, that great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, and that mortal are staying in the palace arranged by the king at night. They are probably investigating this matter during the day. The two of them can't run anywhere. Prime Minister Sun looked at the lackey of the Holy Lord and said, After all, it was said that the demon race person sent here had a high status in the demon race. If she could build a good relationship with him, she would not have to worry about anything in the future. However, after hearing Holy Master Six's question, Prime Minister Sun had some confidence in his heart. It seemed that this lord in front of him was going to deal with the people of the Heaven Secrets Pavilion as soon as he arrived. As long as this lord dealt with the people from the Secret Pavilion, their future progress would be even smoother. Alright, I know what to do about this. At the same time, you have to speed up the progress on your hands. Remember, you only have half a month left. Holy Master Six said to Prime Minister Sun and disappeared. On the other side, Xiao Changtian did not find any valuable clues after the official's inspection. Thus, the group of them left the official's house. I reckon that this demon race person is going to take action tonight. However, I don't know where we'll go next. Prime Minister Lu said to the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets after leaving the official's house. But in my opinion, the demons are looking for something, right? Why don't we beat him at his own game? At this moment, Xiao Changtian suddenly said in a deep voice, Senior, I don't know what plan you have, but why don't you tell me? Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets quickly asked, Since there are officials colluding with the demon race, then let the ruler spread the word that he has already handed that thing over to us. When the official heard the news, he would definitely not be able to sit still. At that time, he would definitely send people from the demon race to look for him. As long as we set up an inescapable net in the room, that demon race person will definitely not be able to escape. Xiao Changtian slowly explained his plan. Perhaps this was the only way to resolve this matter. Moreover, the Grand Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was a saint ruler. He would ask the Grand Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets to capture the demon and interrogate him. Senior, I think this method will work. After hearing Senior's words, the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion nodded in agreement. Because of Xiao Changshan's idea, Prime Minister Liu's impression of him changed slightly. It turned out that this guy's brain was so good. No wonder he was called Senior. Chapter 884. Jade Green Saint Stone 1. Although Prime Minister Liu's impression of Xiao Changtian had changed a little, he still looked down on him. It was because it was useless for a mortal without any strength to have a smart brain. Let's discuss this matter with the country ruler and listen to his opinion. Prime Minister Lu said slowly after the two of them had finished speaking. Following that, the few of them set off to look for the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. This method is really good. In that case, well, do as you say. After hearing Xiao Changshan's suggestion, the king of the Jade Nether Kingdom nodded in agreement. However, Jade Nether King, I would like to ask, what kind of treasure does the Jade Nether Kingdom have that is worthy of the demons making such a big fuss? Xiao Changtian looked at the king of the Jade Nether Kingdom and asked in confusion. This? Prime Minister Lu didn't expect Xiao Changtian to ask such a question. He actually casually inquired about the treasures of other countries. His opinion of Xiao Changtian changed again. Since things have come to this, I won't hide it anymore. I can actually sense that the demon is looking for the Jade Azure Saint Rock. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at the few people present and paused for a moment before saying, "This Jade Green Saint Rock is nothing else but a treasure left behind by old ancestor Yao Ming. It was said that as long as one absorbed this Jade Green Saint Rock, one's cultivation would at least jump 3 levels." The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at the few of them and said slowly, "Other than this, the Jade Green Saint Rock has another important function. It is to protect the Jade Nether Kingdom and bring good fortune to the entire Jade Nether Kingdom. Also, it was something left behind by the ancestor, so it had been preserved by the Jade Nether Kingdom's ruler for generations. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king had already known about it a long time ago. If this Jade Green Saint Stone was known by anyone other than the Jade Nether Kingdom, it would definitely attract countless disasters. Therefore, the Jade Nether Kingdom had never made this treasure public. He did not expect that the demons would actually know about it. This indeed put the Jade Nether Kingdom's king in a dilemma. After all, the Jade Azure Saint Rock had protected the Jade Nether Kingdom for so many years. No matter what, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king did not wish for it to be stolen by the demons. I see. The demons seemed to be trying to revive their demon lord, so they were plundering things that were beneficial to their lord's recovery. It seemed like the demon race was looking for the Jade Green Saint Rock. The great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion nodded after hearing this. It was not strange that the demons would make such a big fuss for this thing. In that case, I'll call a meeting today and tell those officials. I've handed the item over to you. At that time, I'll have to trouble you, great elder of the secret pavilion. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king thanked the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion. No, these are all Senior's ideas. If you want to thank me, thank Senior. The grand elder of the Prophecy Pavilion said with a smile. If it wasn't for Senior's idea, he probably wouldn't know where to start. After this matter was settled, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and Xiao Changtian went to the room together. As long as the official was anxious, he was afraid that the demons would take action tonight. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king did not hesitate either. After the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion left, he quickly gathered the officials. "Ruler, why are you so flustered? What is it? Could it be that they had already captured the demons?" Premier's son, who had been summoned, asked the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. He wanted to see what other abilities this country ruler had. "Although there hasn't been any progress with the demon race, I have an important announcement to make." The Jade Nether Kingdom's king smiled at Prime Minister Sunday. "I'm sure everyone doesn't know that our Jade Nether Kingdom actually has a huge treasure that protects our Jade Nether Kingdom. In order to protect that thing, I've never told anyone about it. But now that the demons are becoming increasingly rampant, I've decided to hand that treasure over to the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets for safekeeping." The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at everyone present and said. After hearing this, Prime Minister Sun's face lit up. He didn't expect that he would get it so easily. It just so happened that that lord wanted to urge him to find information about that treasure within half a month. And now this country ruler actually said it himself. However, it was best for him to first ask if that treasure was what the demons were looking for. "Ruler, there is actually such a thing. I wonder what our treasure is." Premier's son pretended to be surprised as he looked at the Jade Nether King and asked. "That thing is called the Jade Green Saint Stone. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king did not hide this matter. He had followed the instructions of the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and lured the spy out of his hole. Jade Green Saint Rock. Heavens, it's actually that thing. I didn't expect that thing to actually belong to our Jade Nether Kingdom. When the officials present heard about the Jade Green Saint Rock, they all whispered in surprise. When he heard this name, the smile on Prime Minister Sun's face widened. He didn't expect that this thing was what the demons wanted him to find, since he already knew the whereabouts of that thing. Then don't blame me for being impolite. After returning home, Prime Minister Sun quickly gathered his men. Yo, there's a situation. At this moment, Sacred Master 6 suddenly appeared. My lord, I have good news for you. The thing you're looking for is on the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion, so I'm going to make my move tonight. Prime Minister Sun looked at Holy Master 6 excitedly. It's with the Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion? When Sacred Master 6 heard this, he frowned and then smiled. If that's the case, then tonight, you can go find the Great Elder of the Heaven Secret Pavilion and get that treasure. Oh, go meet that Xiao Changtian. Although Saint Lord 6 didn't know Xiao Changshan's strength, he was sure that Xiao Changtian wasn't that strong. As long as Prime Minister Sun could help him stall the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, he would be able to deal with Xiao Changtian. At night, Xiao Changtian and Prime Minister Lu were squatting in the courtyard outside the room. The two of them wanted to wait here and see if that demon would appear. It's already so late, why isn't that demon here yet? After squatting for a while, Prime Minister Lu said impatiently, "Is this method that you guys are talking about going to work?" After Prime Minister Lu went back and thought about it, he felt more and more uneasy. Would Xiao Changshan's idea work? As long as they can't wait, they will definitely come. Xiao Changtian didn't care whether Prime Minister Lu doubted him or not. He only explained. Chapter 885. Holy Lord 6. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared on top of the wall. Ha ha ha, Xiao Changtian, it's time for you to die. The figure standing on the wall suddenly laughed out loud. D*MN demon race people. However, I have no enmity with him. Xiao Changtian was stunned when he heard the voice. He did not know any demon race people at all, nor did he offend any demon race people. Why did it sound like the person on the wall had a blood feud with him? Looking at the person on the wall, Xiao Changtian was ready to go out and investigate. What are you doing? That person is a member of the demon race. Are you going to die? Seeing that Xiao Changtian wanted to leave the corner, Chancellor Lu immediately stopped him and scolded him in a low voice. This mortal really overestimated himself. That demon race person was obviously a powerful expert, but this person in front of him actually went out to court death. No, I'm just going out to teach him a lesson. There shouldn't be any problems, right? Xiao Changtian looked at Prime Minister Lu and asked. After all, with his current strength, it was not quite possible to kill a demon. You're looking for trouble. If you wanted to teach a demon a lesson, you would be lucky if the demon didn't kill you after seeing you go out. Prime Minister Lu looked at Xiao Changtian and was a bit angry. How could this person be so annoying? It was fine if he didn't have the strength, but he actually caused trouble for him. Prime Minister, you're thinking too much. I'm just going to teach him a lesson. Don't worry, nothing will happen. Xiao Changtian couldn't bear to see someone treat him like this. He actually said that his death had arrived. How could Xiao Changtian tolerate this? Xiao Changtian quietly stood up after speaking to Prime Minister Lu. This damned person. When he died later, he would not help him collect his corpse. If he was not with the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion, he would not have stopped him at all. Looking at Xiao Changshan's actions, Prime Minister Lu cursed in his heart. However, Xiao Changtian didn't know that after he left, Prime Minister Lu was cursing him in his heart. He quietly walked to the bottom of the wall. Hey you demon, I heard you wanted to kill me? Xiao Changtian walked to the wall and said loudly to the demons on the wall. F***CK. Xiao Changshan's words made Saint Lord 6 jump. He didn't expect Xiao Changtian to appear in front of him before he could make a move. Good Xiao Changtian, I haven't even looked for you and you came to me first. However, Saint Master 6 immediately reacted and looked at Xiao Changtian. Today was the best time to deal with Xiao Changtian. System, quickly help me check the cultivation of this person in front of me. Xiao Changtian said to the system in his mind as he looked at Saint Lord 6. Cultivation 6 points. After Xiao Changtian finished speaking, the system immediately replied, "What a joke. This person only has 6 points of cultivation. Just the cultivation that I exchanged for can't compare to him. I already have so much cultivation, and now I have to add on the cultivation that I exchanged with the system. Such a cultivation could already throw this demon in front of him by several streets." He did not know where this demon in front of him got the confidence to actually dare to deal with him. "Ha ha ha, since you said you were going to deal with me, then come at me. I want to see what tricks you can play." Xiao Changtian said disdainfully to Saint Sovereign 6. "This damned mortal, what is he doing? Did he really want to die? He actually dared to say such words. That demon would definitely not let him off easily." Prime Minister Lu naturally heard what Xiao Changtian said. So, he hid in the dark and looked at Xiao Changtian with pity. At this moment, Xiao Changtian was already a corpse in Prime Minister Liu's heart. After all, the demons were so difficult to deal with. This Xiao Changtian was so weak. They would definitely be killed by the demons. In front of Prime Minister Lu, Holy Master 6 quickly threw out an iron chain. The iron chain was as thick as a wrist and very long. Not only that, but it also contained extremely powerful demonic power. The moment Sacred Master 6 used this huge chain, the surrounding air instantly became extremely cold, as if they were in an extremely cold place. The moon in the sky was completely covered at this moment, leaving only their dim shadows on the ground. Prime Minister Lu was terrified just by looking at him. We're finished. If he couldn't make it in time later, he would run away quickly. Prime Minister Lu was already scared silly by the scene in front of him. With such a terrifying thing in hand, even if the Jade Nether Kingdom's army was sent over, they wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Hee. Do you really think you're so great just because you have an iron chain? You're just a puny little devil. Watch how I deal with you." Xiao Changtian looked at Saint Lord 6 with a mocking smile. Then, under the gaze of Saint Master 6, Xiao Changtian moved. "Who told you to act tough? I'll show you the power of my fist today." Xiao Changtian dashed to the wall where Saint Master 6 was standing and pulled him down. Holy Master 6 didn't expect this to happen either. He looked at his pants and was stunned. However, when he reacted, he felt that something was wrong. What's going on? What's going on? Saint Master 6 tried to break free from Xiao Changshan's hand, but he felt as if all the spiritual power in his body had been sucked dry. Even Saint Master 6 found it extremely difficult to move. Bang! However, Xiao Changtian didn't give this devil a chance to hesitate. When he pulled Saint Lord down, he started to beat Saint Lord 6 up. Even if Sacred Master 6 was holding on to the devil race's devil god chains, the iron chain was like a pile of scrap metal at the moment, unable to unleash any spiritual power. Under Xiao Changshan's fist, the 6 Saint Sovereigns felt as if their ribs were smashed by Xiao Changshan's fist. They could only scream helplessly. How is this possible? However, this scene fell into the eyes of Prime Minister Lu, who was preparing to escape in the distance. Looking at this scene, Prime Minister Lu was so surprised that his mouth was so wide that it could fit a steamed bun. That's impossible. I must be too nervous. Prime Minister Lu rubbed his eyes in disbelief and looked at the scene in the distance again. The result was exactly the same as before. It was that demon who was screaming under Xiao Changshan's hands. Chapter 886, Retreat Quickly 1. No, what's going on? Saint Lord 6 was not the only one who was screaming in pain. Prime Minister Lu asked in confusion. At this moment, everything in front of him seemed to be a dream. Prime Minister, coming quickly. Don't disturb Senior. Just as Prime Minister Lu was in a daze, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets walked out and pulled Prime Minister Lu in. If it's not the great elder, what's the situation outside? After being pulled into the room, Prime Minister Lu asked the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets in disbelief. What's going on? Weren't you watching with your own eyes? Senior is teaching that demon a lesson. If you are discovered there, it won't be good. The first elder of the prophecy pavilion casually said. It was as if Xiao Changtian was able to deal with the demons. No, first elder, that senior you mentioned, didn't he have no cultivation at all? Prime Minister Liu was still in a daze. This was simply impossible. No, Prime Minister Liu, don't tell me you still think senior is just a mortal? At this moment, the great elder of the secret pavilion finally reacted. It turned out that this Prime Minister Liu had always treated senior as a mortal. No wonder he felt that Prime Minister Liu was so strange to senior. Is the great elder really not? But even if I used all my energy, I still couldn't find any difference between him and a mortal. After the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets said this, Prime Minister Liu finally came to his senses. It turned out that he was shallow. No wonder Xiao Changtian was called senior by the people of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. That senior must be very powerful, because Prime Minister Liu didn't feel any power from Xiao Changtian, but he could beat that terrifying demon so badly. From this, it could be seen that senior was not an ordinary person. He was already an expert who had cultivated his cultivation to the acme of perfection. He was actually so short-sighted in the beginning. They thought that Xiao Changtian was just a mortal. Prime Minister Liu, sometimes what you see in front of you is not necessarily true. Also, we can't guess what senior is thinking. So I think you know what to do. The great elder of the prophecy pavilion looked at Prime Minister Liu and said slowly. Prime Minister Liu nodded seriously at the great elder's words. After all, if he did not have eyes to provoke such an expert, then he would really be too blind. At this moment, Saint Lord 6 was screaming at Xiao Changtian. I beg you, stop fighting. Stop fighting. Finally, Saint Master 6 couldn't help but beg Xiao Changtian. Hee, aren't you quite powerful? Didn't you want to kill me? How can you only have this much ability now? Xiao Changtian said rudely to Saint Lord 6. Since that demon had threatened to kill him, he would definitely not stay behind. Therefore, Xiao Changtian would not be soft-hearted towards Saint Lord 6. Expert, please let me go. I didn't recognize Mount Tai. I shouldn't have said such words. Saint Lord 6 was about to explode from his spiritual power. If Xiao Changtian didn't stop, he would definitely be killed by Xiao Changtian with his bare hands. It's not impossible for me to let you go. However, you have to tell me who exactly is colluding with you from the Jade Nether Kingdom. Xiao Changtian looked at Saint Lord 6 and finally stopped. He didn't forget about the important matter. I'll talk. It's that guy called Prime Minister Sunday. It's him. Holy Master 6 didn't even think about it, and revealed Prime Minister Sunday. Alright, the ruler treats Prime Minister Sun well. But this Prime Minister Sun was actually so bold to collude with the demons. The country ruler will definitely not let him off. Prime Minister Liu, who was in the room, naturally heard what Holy Master 6 had said. This Prime Minister Sun was absolutely detiable. He had actually done such a thing. He was simply a sinner of the Jade Nether Kingdom. It would not be too much to drag such a person out and whip his corpse 100 times. At this moment, Saint Master 6 looked at Xiao Changtian with a trembling face. How could this man be so powerful? Why did he look like a mortal when he was at the glorious Star Restaurant? How did things turn out like this? No wonder the demonic flame Sacred Lord told him not to provoke Xiao Changtian. It seemed that he was really unlucky. Prime Minister Sun, how are you? Xiao Changtian also remembered this Prime Minister Sunday. Expert, I've already said it. Can you let me go now? Saint Sovereign 6 looked at Xiao Changtian in panic. He was really afraid that Xiao Changtian would beat him to death if he was unhappy. Fortunately, when he went to the glorious Star Restaurant to look for trouble, he had taken someone else's body. If Xiao Changtian knew, he would have been the one looking for trouble. He would definitely not let her off easily. Walla walla. Just as Holy Master 6 finished speaking, the sound of other demons trying to enter could be heard from outside the wall. F***ck. It was over. Why did he come at this time? This Xiao Changtian was not to be trifled with. Upon hearing this commotion, Holy Master 6 was also stunned. It seemed like it was time for Prime Minister Sun to arrange for someone to look for the great elder of the prophecy pavilion. However, in the current situation, even if so many people came, they were still not Xiao Changshan's match. Xiao Changtian naturally noticed the commotion outside and immediately panicked. Why were there so many people? There were so many people. Even if he had so much cultivation, he would not be able to deal with them. You can go first. If I meet you in the future and you're still so arrogant, don't blame me for being impolite. Xiao Changtian was anxious to warn the great elder, but the devil in front of him had not left yet, so he could only let him go for now. Saint Sovereign 6 limped out after hearing Xiao Changshan's words. My lord, why are you here? Just as Holy Master 6 walked out of the courtyard, Premier Sun shouted excitedly. How is it, my lord? You've already taught him a lesson, right? We should start the next step, right? Prime Minister Sun said excitedly as he looked at Holy Master 6. As long as he could succeed this time, then the position of the country's ruler would be his. Thinking of this result, Premier Sun's face was so happy that flowers bloomed. What do you mean start? Retreat. Saint Lord said fiercely, as he looked at Prime Minister Sunday. Even if these people went over, with Xiao Changtian around, they would be sending themselves to their deaths. No, sir, what do you mean? After hearing Holy Master 6's words, Prime Minister Sun was stunned on the spot. What was wrong with this demon lord? This was a critical moment. Chapter 887. It's actually Premier Sun 1. Am I not clear enough? I want you all to retreat quickly. Holy Master 6 glanced at Prime Minister Sun and said loudly, Sir, why? We're so close now. As long as we can snatch the jade green saint stone from the great elder of the Heaven Secrets Pavilion, our mission will be complete. Why did they have to retreat at this time? Prime Minister Sun didn't know what had happened, or if it was because this demon lord's brain had gone crazy. There was only one step left, but he actually retreated just like that. What, Prime Minister Sun? Are you not even going to listen to me now? Do you know how strong that person inside is? He actually dared to provoke them. However, I have to tell you some unfortunate news. They already know that you colluded with us. You'd better hurry home and prepare. Wait until tomorrow to see if your country's ruler will come to capture you. Holy Master 6 glanced at Prime Minister Sun and said indifferently. At first, he didn't want to expose Prime Minister Sun, but Xiao Changtian was too powerful. If he didn't expose Prime Minister Sun, he would have no chance to live. What, sir? How could you do this? Prime Minister Sun's anger was extinguished by Holy Master 6's words. What he didn't expect was that this demon lord in front of him actually betrayed him. Sir, I want to know who the expert inside is that actually made you so afraid. Then, Premier Sun asked unwillingly. He didn't blame the demons for betraying him. He only blamed the expert that the demons spoke of for ruining his plans. That Xiao Changshan's strength isn't something you can imagine. Prime Minister Sun, I advise you to hurry back, pack your things and run. After saying that, Holy Master 6 ignored Prime Minister Sun and disappeared into the darkness. No, I have to go back as soon as possible. At this moment, Prime Minister Sun also reacted. If he continued to stay here, the country ruler would probably come looking for him very soon. They've all retreated. Then, Prime Minister Sun called the demons behind him and quickly retreated back to the place where they had come from. At this moment, Prime Minister Lu was already standing in front of the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. Ruler, Senior has already asked. It is Prime Minister Sun who colluded with the demon race. Prime Minister Lu said angrily to the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. I didn't expect Prime Minister Sun to do such a thing. Wait, Prime Minister Lu. How could the person colluding with the demons be Prime Minister Sun? He had also been violated by the demons. Also, who is this senior you're talking about? Could it be the senior that the great elder of the prophecy pavilion mentioned? The Jade Nether Kingdom's king was somewhat surprised. How could the person colluding with the demons be Prime Minister Sun? Moreover, the person who could make the demon race speak of him must be a very powerful person. However, hearing Prime Minister Liu's words, it seemed to be that mortal. Could the words of that mortal be believed by others? Could Prime Minister Lu have been possessed by something? Or was Prime Minister Lu threatened? Country ruler, are you muddle-headed? Do I still have the right to lie to you? Why don't you take a look at the situation in our Jade Nether Kingdom now? There's no need for me to lie to you. The senior I'm talking about is the senior that the great elder of the prophecy pavilion mentioned. He's the mortal we thought he was. Prime Minister Lu didn't expect that the ruler still didn't trust Xiao Changtian. Indeed, if he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed that Xiao Changtian wasn't an ordinary person. Country ruler, I saw with my own eyes that senior pull a devil expert down from the wall and beat him up. Just the strength of that demon race person alone could make people feel incomparably terrifying. Without saying a word, the senior easily dragged the demon down. Moreover, he had beaten the demon race man until he kept begging for mercy. Prime Minister Lu did not hide anything and quickly told him what had happened. He was telling the truth without any exaggeration. How is this possible? How could that mortal use such great power? After hearing Prime Minister Liu's words, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king's expression instantly turned solemn. If that person was really an expert, then their previous actions had left a bad impression on that expert. Country ruler, don't worry about this for now. It's already clear that Prime Minister Sun is colluding with the demon race. If we didn't take action earlier, this Prime Minister Sun might have done something. When Prime Minister Lu came out, he seemed to have vaguely seen Prime Minister Sun's fleeing figure. He probably knew that the demon had exposed him. In that case, quickly gather the cultivators and capture Prime Minister Sunday. By the way, where are Prime Minister Lu, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, and that senior? The Jade Nether Kingdom's king asked Premier Sun after giving the order. Senior and the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets have already set off for Prime Minister Sun's house. Prime Minister Lu replied, "All right then, we'll go over immediately." The Jade Nether Kingdom's king quickly gathered a large group of cultivators and ran towards Prime Minister Sun's residence. In a short while, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king had brought his men to surround the perimeter of Prime Minister Sun's estate. Great Elder Senior, thank you so much. If not for you, we would still be in the dark about this Prime Minister Sunday. The Jade Nether King walked over and said gratefully when he saw the great elder of the prophecy pavilion and Xiao Changtian. It's just a small matter. There's no need to be polite. I didn't expect to catch him so quickly. Xiao Changtian smiled in response to the Jade Nether Kingdom's king's politeness. He had thought that the situation in the Jade Nether Kingdom was so serious that this matter would be difficult to deal with. He did not expect it to be resolved so quickly. This was also beyond Xiao Changshan's expectations. Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was extremely emotional. No wonder the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets sent 2 people over this time. It was no wonder the people of the secret pavilion called this young man senior. It turned out that this senior was really not an ordinary person. Dealing with the demons was just a piece of cake for him. He was really short-sighted in the beginning. He actually thought that the senior the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was talking about was a mortal. He wondered if this senior would mind that the Jade Nether Kingdom had not been too friendly to him in the beginning. If this senior didn't forgive his previous bad attitude towards him, then the Jade Nether Kingdom would be in big trouble. Since the country ruler is like this, why don't you bring people to arrest this Prime Minister Sun first? The Prophecy Pavilion's Grand Elder reminded the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. Chapter 888. I'm Wronged 1. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king came to his senses after the Prophecy Pavilion's Grand Elder's reminder. Hence he quickly brought his men in. Prime Minister Sun, come out. Stop hiding. I know what you've done. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king stood in Prime Minister Sun's residence and looked into his room as he spoke loudly. Country ruler, I don't know what you're talking about. You dared to come here in the middle of the night. I don't know what's going on either. Premier Sun immediately walked out of the room after hearing the Jade Nether Kingdom's prince's words. Prime Minister Sun, you still dare to quibble? Aren't you afraid of retribution for teaming up with the demon race? After hearing Premier Sun's words, Premier Lu, who was standing beside the Jade Nether Kingdom's king, immediately stood up and said angrily. At first, Prime Minister Lu had thought that Prime Minister Sun was the same as him and had been persecuted by the demons. In the end, it was actually this Prime Minister Sun who had allied with the demon race. He was simply shameless. Prime Minister Lu doesn't have any evidence. So what right do you have to slander me? Although Premier Sun knew that the demon lord had betrayed him, Premier Lu only knew about it. There was no evidence to prove it. You want evidence? Isn't that simple? I'll search your residence now. He wanted to see if there were any traces of demons. The great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets looked at Premier Sun with a serious expression. He didn't expect this person to be so stubborn, even when he was about to die. Alright, since you want to search, then search. Anyway, I'm not afraid of shadows. Country ruler, I can't be wronged for nothing. The reason why Prime Minister Sun was able to say these words so confidently was because he had already evacuated those demons in advance. Now, even if he searched his residence, he wouldn't be able to find a single demon. Prime Minister Sun, I'm sorry. If there's news of the demons, we won't let them go. Men search. The king of the Jade Nether Kingdom looked at Premier Sun and said slowly. He knew that this Prime Minister Sun was not that simple. Since he could collude with the demon race, it meant that he must have some skills. Also, since he said so, he must have been prepared. However, he couldn't just go back like this. Therefore, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king had to search this Prime Minister Sunday ruler. Since you think so, I have no choice but to allow you to search my residence. After Premier Sun finished speaking, he sized up the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and the people following him, because he was guessing who could make that lord of the demon race so afraid. The great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was a saint king. However, it was not to the extent of making that demon lord afraid, right? As for the mortal beside Grand Elder Tian Chiga, there was no need to mention him. He was not a threat at all. Therefore, this could prove that the ruler had definitely found another expert to ambush the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. Fortunately, that demon lord had informed him in advance. Otherwise, if he brought people in, he would definitely not have a good ending. Reporting to the country ruler, we didn't find any traces of the demon race in Prime Minister Sun's residence. After a while, someone came up to report. Country ruler, I have already said that I was wronged. Premier Sun said with a smile. I've long since evacuated all the demons. It would be strange if you could find them. You Prime Minister Sun must have planned this. This is too despicable. When Prime Minister Lu heard this, he became even angrier. He believed what the demon said, but he didn't know why this Prime Minister Sun was so fast. They had actually evacuated all the demons before they arrived. Prime Minister Lu, I wonder where you heard that I colluded with the demons? Looking at Prime Minister Lu, Prime Minister Sun's thoughts changed. Perhaps he could get some information from Prime Minister Lu. Of course it was Senior who taught that demon a lesson. Prime Minister Lu immediately said. As expected, the country ruler had invited another expert. It seemed that this expert's strength was very strong. He had to think of a way to deal with it first. This was because they did not know what the senior they were talking about was like. Alright, since we've checked, let's go back first. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at Prime Minister Sun and knew that there was no point in continuing to drag things out like this. Following that, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king led a group of people out of Prime Minister Sun's residence in a grandiose manner. Ruler, are you going to forget about that Prime Minister Sun so easily? The Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion asked in puzzlement as he watched the Jade Nether Kingdom's king leave with his men. Great Elder, this matter is not as simple as you think. If I rashly arrest him without any evidence, the forces behind him will definitely not agree. When the time comes, I'll still have to let him go under pressure. The Jade Nether King shook his head and sighed. Although he also knew that Prime Minister Sun must have something up his sleeves, now was not the time to arrest him. We'll discuss this matter tomorrow. It's already so late today. You guys go back and rest first. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king waved his hand at the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion and Xiao Changtian before leaving. Senior, it seems like we can't resolve this matter so quickly. The Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion sighed, as he watched the Jade Nether Kingdom's king leave. It's fine. Now that we know that Prime Minister Sun is the one who colluded with the demons, the following matters will be much easier to handle. Xiao Changtian wasn't too surprised. When he let Saint Lord 6 go, he had already guessed that the demon race would go back and inform Prime Minister Sunday Sr. What should we do next? The Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion did not know how to deal with the current situation. After all, those demon race people had already escaped. It was impossible for him to chase them back. We can only observe here for a period of time. After all, we can't act rashly in such a situation. Xiao Changtian also sighed. It seemed that his plan to find the spiritual tree seed could only be put aside for a while. At this moment in the demon race, what? You piece of trash, you were actually beaten back by that Xiao Changtian. After Sacred Lord Demonic Flame heard Sacred Lord 6's report, anger instantly appeared on his face. This Saint Master 6 was really useless, and that Xiao Changtian kept ruining his plans. Did Sacred Lord Demonic Flame really think that he was easy to bully just because he didn't show his might? Chapter 889. It's again one. Demonic Flame Holy Lord. I didn't expect things to turn out like this. I just want to teach that Xiao Chang a lesson. You said that Xiao Changshan's strength is very strong, but I didn't expect his strength to be that strong. Sacred Lord 6 said aggrievedly to Sacred Lord Demonic Flame. Useless trash. What was the situation in the Jade Nether Kingdom now? Was the Jade Green Saint Stone in the hands of the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion? Sacred Lord Demonic Flame took a deep breath and asked Sacred Lord 6. It should be, but I don't know how Prime Minister Sun is doing now. If that Prime Minister Sun is smart, he shouldn't have been caught. Then, we might have some hope of getting the Jade Green Saint Rock. Sacred Lord 6 looked at Sacred Lord Demonic Flame and replied carefully. He had escaped from the jaws of death this time. It was already not bad to be able to survive, so he did not care about that Prime Minister Sun at all. He didn't know what was going on with Prime Minister Sunday. If that's the case, then go to the Jade Underworld Kingdom again. You don't have to come back yourself. Sacred Lord Demonic Flame glared at Sacred Lord 6. If it wasn't for this Sacred Master 6 being so rash, there might have been some mistakes in this plan. Although Sacred Lord 6's status in the demon race was considered high, Sacred Lord Demonic Flame wouldn't let him off so easily just because of this. Sacred Lord Demonic Flame. Aye. Holy Master 6 didn't want to go to the Jade Nether Kingdom again. If he met Xiao Changtian again, he might not be so lucky. Why? Are you unwilling? Sacred Lord Demonic Flame glared at Sacred Lord 6. If Sacred Lord 6 dared to make any more excuses, Xiao Changtian wouldn't let him go. Even she would not let him go. After all, he had been reminding her at that time. He didn't want Holy Master 6 to find trouble with Xiao Changtian. However, this Sacred Master 6 just didn't listen to him. Why did he have to stir up trouble and disrupt the plan? Alright, I'll go, Sacred Lord 6 said helplessly when he saw Sacred Lord Demonic Flame's furious expression. Looking at Sacred Lord Demonic Flame's expression, if he didn't agree quickly, he wouldn't have a good ending either. After Sacred Master 6 left, the demon god Saintess smiled as she watched him leave. Mo Yen, do you really think that 6th brother can get the Jade Green Saint Stone? The demonic god Saintess said with a smile, as she looked at Sacred Lord Demonic Flame. Then what should we do? In this situation, I can only let 6th brother go. However, I really didn't expect 6th brother to be so disappointing. Demonic Eye Sacred Lord took a deep breath. I know that the Jade Green Saint Rock is very important, but that Xiao Changtian has ruined my plans time and time again. Why don't we do it this way? How about we send a Saintess to assist Holy Master 6? The Saintess also knew that if she wanted to get the Jade Green Saint Stone, Saint Lord 6 alone wouldn't be able to defeat Xiao Changtian. She might as well send some of her own people. Of course, if you want, you can send a powerful Saintess. Otherwise, you won't be able to deal with Xiao Changtian. Sacred Lord Demonic Flame had been waiting for the Saintess to say this. He couldn't do anything to Xiao Changtian by himself. However, if the Saintess and Sacred Lord combined, the power they could unleash would be enormous. This was the reason why the demons were divided into Sacred Lords and Saintesses. No matter how weak the Sacred Lords and Saintesses were, as long as the two combined, they could unleash shocking strength. I understand. When the time comes, I'll get Saintess 3 to assist Holy Master 6. The demonic god Saintess turned around and left. Although a Saint Lord had several Saintesses under him, the Saintesses under the Saintess were different. If they could be taught by the Saintess herself, they were all very powerful. Therefore, Sacred Lord Demonic Flame was very satisfied with Saintess Demonic sending Saintess 3 to assist Sacred Lord 6. At that time, in the Jade Underworld Kingdom, Ruler, what should we do next? It was because he did not know if that demon would make a comeback. I feel that the demon won't let this go until he gets the Jade Green Saint Stone. Prime Minister Liu stood in front of the Jade Nether Kingdom's king and said to him, "Senior, how can you see this matter?" After hearing Prime Minister Liu's words, the Jade Nether King turned around and asked Xiao Changtian. Ever since Prime Minister Liu had told him about Xiao Changshan's power, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king had viewed Xiao Changtian as the Jade Nether Kingdom's life-saving straw. I don't have any other good methods, but if I meet demons again, I'll definitely fight them," Xiao Changtian said awkwardly. With his current strength, he did not dare to show off in front of the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. That's right. Senior's strength is so strong. He doesn't even need to think of any strategy. He can solve everything with force. After hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king sighed in his heart. If anyone had the strength of Senior, they would not have to fear the devil race. It seems that we have to consider this matter carefully. The demons will definitely not make any moves in the next 2 days. Therefore, we can only observe for 2 days. The Great Elder of the Secret Pavilion slowly replied, after hearing the discussion between the two of them. In any case, as long as this matter was not completed, they would not leave. Great Elder Senior, I really have to thank you for this. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have known that Prime Minister Sun was colluding with the demon race. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king thanked the two of them once again. Meanwhile, outside the Jade Nether country, that Xiao Changshan's strength is not to be underestimated. You must not have a love rival. Looking at the Saintess in front of him, Saint Lord 6 reminded her kindly. He had been tortured by Xiao Changtian because he had underestimated his opponent. He didn't know if this proud Saintess would persuade him. The demon god Saintess told me, "Let me deal with it properly." But I feel that even if that Xiao Changtian is very strong, how strong can he be? Have I already achieved victory in my heart? Could it be that his strength had reached Saint Emperor? As expected, Holy Maiden 3 didn't care about Holy Master SX's kind reminder, because she didn't believe that she was at the Strength of Glory sect. With her strength, there was still someone she couldn't deal with. That Xiao Changtian was at most a Saint King. Even if he had the strength of a Saint King, as long as he combined with Saint Lord 6, he would naturally be able to unleash the strength of a Saint King. At that time, would he still have to worry about not being able to kill Xiao Changtian? However, it's best to be careful. Holy Master 6 did not want to suffer a second loss. Chapter 890, Going Out for a Walk, 1. At this moment, Prime Minister Sun was pacing back and forth in his residence. "Skinny Monkey, what do you think that demon race person meant? They actually sold me out from the beginning. To think that I even tried my best to help them. It's simply too infuriating." Although Prime Minister Sun managed to avoid a calamity, the more he thought about how Holy Master 6 had betrayed him, the angrier he became. "Prime Minister, after all, the demon race is so powerful that we are not their match. However, they did not get what they wanted this time, so they will definitely attack again." Shouho looked at Prime Minister Sun and said slowly. He thought that Prime Minister Sun had already obtained the Jade Green Saint Stone, but he didn't expect that Prime Minister Sun was almost captured. "So you mean that the demons will come to me again to cooperate?" Premier Sun asked in surprise. "If nothing goes wrong, the demon race will definitely find someone familiar to cooperate with. At that time, won't you be able to make good use of them?" Skinny Monkey thought so. But he didn't know what was going on with the demon race. After a few days of peace, the streets of the Jade Nether Kingdom gradually became lively. Great Elder, we have nothing to do these few days. Why don't we go to the streets of the Jade Nether Kingdom tonight? Xiao Changtian, who had been here for a few days, was also a little anxious, so he asked the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. Senior, you can do whatever you want. The Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets nodded at Xiao Changtian. On the other side, Saintess 3 and Holy Master 6 had once again found Prime Minister Sunday. Yo, two demon lords, I wonder what business you have here. Looking at the two people who suddenly came knocking, Premier Sun smiled hypocritically at them. Although Prime Minister Sun was very angry because of what happened last time, the strength of the two demon lords was very terrifying. He could not afford to offend them at all. Therefore, Prime Minister Sun did not intend to fall out with them. Prime Minister Sun, I know that I let you down last time, but don't be too angry. After all, you haven't gotten the throne yet. Holy Master 6 said to Prime Minister Sun with a smile. But Prime Minister Sun, we're looking for you this time. We don't need you to do much. As long as you help us lure the Great Elder and Xiao Changtian to our designated place, we will naturally take action. Prime Minister Sun frowned when he heard the words of Holy Master 6. As long as you can help us lure these two to our place, our demonic flame sacred lord has said that we will definitely not treat you unfairly. At that time, not only will you be the ruler of the Jade Nether Kingdom, but you will also have a place in the demon race. Saint Master 6 looked at Prime Minister Sun's serious face and immediately said again. This time, they had set up an inescapable net. As long as Xiao Changtian and the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets were there, they would definitely not be able to escape. After all, this time, Saint Lord 6 and Saint Lady 3 had joined forces to set up a blood formation to trap humans. As long as one entered this formation, no matter if it was a saint ruler or a saint emperor, they would be unable to escape. They didn't believe that they couldn't get the Jade Green Saint Stone and do anything to Xiao Changtian. Since you said so, I'll believe you again. I can help you lure the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and that person to that place. After thinking for a while, Premier Sun nodded at the two of them, because looking at the two people in front of him, if he did not agree, he was afraid that he would not have a good ending. It was better to agree first. After all, these two demon race people said that the conditions were so good. In the end, after the discussion between the two sides, they finally reached an agreement. Prime Minister, we've received news that the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and his lackeys are leaving the palace today. Isn't this a good opportunity for us? After a while, Skinny Monkey brought good news. Since that's the case, it's just right for our operation. Although we don't know where that expert is, as long as we lure them to the designated location of the demon race, we don't have to worry about them. Prime Minister Sun murmured. In the evening, Xiao Changtian and the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets entered a market that didn't look too prosperous. I heard that this store is opened by Prime Minister Sunday. After walking into the market, the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets said to Xiao Changtian. No wonder it was opened by the Prime Minister Sunday. Look, this small beast bone is worth so many gold coins. Xiao Changtian looked at the goods beside him and said slowly, My two guests, what do you want to see? We have everything here. We have all kinds of treasured beast bones. Come in and take a look. As the two of them walked in the mall, people kept coming forward to promote their products. The two of you, do you dare to be interested in the demons? At this moment, a voice suddenly made their bodies tremble. Then, the two of them looked at that person in unison. No, please don't misunderstand. I have an ancestral artifact here. As long as you hold that artifact, you can identify the demon race people around you at any time. I just saw that the two of you looked like demon hunters, so I asked. If you're not interested, I'll just leave. Seeing the two of them looking at him in unison, the person immediately explained. There's such a thing. Senior, why don't we go and take a look? The Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was instantly interested because he knew that if the devil race possessed an ordinary person, if not for the pavilion master's ability to identify the devil race's cultivation, no one would have noticed it. He had never thought that there would be such a thing. The great elder of the secret pavilion had to go and take a look no matter what. Xiao Changtian didn't have any objections and followed the great elder of the pavilion of heavenly secrets. Ha ha ha, Prime Minister, this move of yours is still the best. As long as Jiang and the other two are lured over, our mission will be considered completed. Shou Ho and Premier Sun stood in the distance and laughed as they watched this scene. All right, the matter is almost over. Let's follow and take a look. Prime Minister Sun walked over with a smile. The great elder of the pavilion of heavenly secrets and Xiao Changtian followed the person in front of them and walked further and further away. Hey boss, why are you taking us to somewhere? Looking at the surrounding scene, the great elder of the prophecy pavilion asked in confusion. Sir, ha ha ha, I've already said that this is an ancestral treasure. I definitely won't put it out easily. That person said with a smile after hearing the great elder's words. Xiao Changtian, who was behind him, didn't think too much. After all, the great elder of the pavilion of heavenly secrets wouldn't be able to get such a thing at a cheap price. The pavilion of heavenly secrets was the richest. Chapter 891, Bloodthirsty Array 1. Hiss, wait a moment, First Elder, you go first. I have a little urgent need to pee now, so I'll catch up with you guys in a while. After Xiao Changtian finished speaking to the two of them, he ran away. In that case, let's go first. The great elder of the prophecy pavilion did not care too much because he wanted to see where this person was taking him. The great elder had already sensed that something was wrong when he left the mall. However, when he saw that Senior was still following the person in front of him defenseless, the great elder of the secret pavilion knew. Senior must have seen through this person's scheme, but he didn't want to expose it. He wanted to see what this person was going to do next. Just now, Senior said that he wanted to go to the toilet, so he must have gone to prepare something. Therefore, he did not have to worry about what tricks the person in front of him would play. On the other side, little Changtian quickly squatted down in the grass. Pff, it's so comfortable. I don't know what I ate, but I actually have diarrhea. Xiao Changtian said emotionally. This was really a delay. After cleaning up his mess, he had to hurry and find the great elder of the prophecy pavilion. He wondered what the great elder of the prophecy pavilion wanted. It actually made the great elder of the prophecy pavilion so interested. Immediately, Xiao Changtian put on his pants and chased after him. On the other side, Saint Lord 6 and Saint Daughter 3 had been waiting there for a long time. Do you think that Prime Minister Sun is reliable? It's been so long. Why hasn't he brought her here yet? Seeing that it was still empty in the distance, the third saintess said impatiently. You have to believe that Prime Minister Sun won't lie to us. After all, that fellow was counting on the fact that the clan was going to help him obtain the position of the country's ruler. Holy Master 6 waved his hand indifferently. A person like Prime Minister Sun was the easiest to manipulate. As long as he was tempted by some conditions, he would definitely be unable to resist. Yo, look, isn't that person here? At this moment, Prime Minister Sun's men walked over with the great elder of the pavilion of heavenly secrets. Boss, where are you taking me? There was nothing in this place. It was pitch black. Is this where your house is? Seeing that his surroundings were becoming more and more desolate, the first elder of the prophecy pavilion's expression became solemn. As expected, Senior must have guessed it long ago. That's why he let me follow first. However, so what if this person is powerful? As long as he dared to make a move, Senior would definitely take him down. Sir, don't worry. We'll be there soon. This person turned around to look at the first elder and said with a smile, Ha ha ha, great elder of the prophecy pavilion. I didn't expect you to fall into our trap in the end. Not long after the great elder followed that person, he suddenly heard the words of the demon race. Demon race people, I knew you guys hadn't given up yet. Hearing this, first elder also reacted. So that person was sent by the fiend race. However, where did Xiao Changtian go? Saint Lord Six said in surprise when he saw that there was only the first elder of the prophecy pavilion. Originally, he had set up this inescapable net to capture these two people in one fell swoop. He did not expect that there was only the great elder of the prophecy pavilion now. Ha ha ha, you must be dumbfounded. Senior has long seen through your scheme, so he didn't come. You want us to fall into the hands of your demon race? Ha ha ha, Senior won't agree. With Xiao Changtian backing him up, the great elder of the pavilion of heavenly secrets wasn't afraid, even though the demon race was very strong. You old man, do you really think we can't do anything to you? The third saintess said angrily when she heard the first elder's arrogant words. Hurry up and hand over the jade green saint rock. Otherwise we won't let you off easily. Or do you want to test our power? The holy maiden said threateningly as she looked at the great elder of the prophecy pavilion. The reason why she could say such words so confidently was not because she was not afraid of the great elder's strength, but because the great elder was already standing on the killing formation they had set up. As long as Saintess 3 and Holy Lord 6 worked together to activate the array formation under the Great Elder's feet, the Great Elder would definitely be unable to escape this time. Ha ha! Do you really think that Senior will let your demon race off so easily? Let me tell you, Senior went to make preparations just now. Just you wait. The Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion said disdainfully. He wanted to see what kind of power the two of them could unleash. However, we are not that stupid. Since you have said so, don't blame us for being impolite. In fact, Saint Lord 6 wasn't stupid. If Xiao Changtian used any more power, they would have to divert their attention to deal with him. They might as well take the jade green saint stone from the great elder of the heaven secret pavilion. Sixth brother, activate the killing formation. Looking at the great elder of the prophecy pavilion, the third saintess did not hesitate and quickly stretched out her palm to draw an unknown symbol in the air. Saint Lord 6 didn't hesitate and followed Saint Lady 3's movements, quickly jumping into the air. Demon bloodthirsty formation. Rise. The two of them looked at the place where the great elder of the prophecy pavilion was standing and shouted, boom, boom. At this moment, the dim moonlight turned into a strange bloody light, covering the entire sky. As for the great elder of the prophecy pavilion, his feet began to tremble violently after the two of them stopped talking. Not only the ground, but even the great elder of the prophecy pavilion had a violent wind blowing beside him. Shoo shoo at this moment. Even the trees around the pavilion of heavenly secrets swayed violently because of the strong wind. What? Demon bloodthirsty formation. When the great elder of the prophecy pavilion heard the name of the array formation, his expression instantly changed. After the great elder of the prophecy pavilion heard the name of this array formation, it was simply like thunder piercing his ears. Everyone in the Jade Lake sacred world knew that the most famous array of the fiend race was the bloodthirsty array of the fiend race. If the fiend race used this bloodthirsty array, no matter how strong one's cultivation was, they would be devoured by this bloodthirsty array. Now that the two of them had used such a formation on him, it seemed like the jade green Saint Rock was extremely important to the demon race. This old man will give you one last chance. If you hand over the jade green Saint Rock, we might leave your corpse intact. Holy Master 6 looked at the great elder of the prophecy pavilion and threatened. In his array, even the Saint King level grand elder of the pavilion of heavenly secrets was like an ant that he could manipulate. Ha ha ha, you must be dreaming. Even if you kill me, you won't get the jade green saint stone. Although the great elder of the prophecy pavilion was trapped in this array formation, he quickly calmed down because he knew that Senior would definitely come to save him. Moreover, the jade green Saint Rock was not on him at all. What happened? The second wholesale dealer and shopkeeper Wang asked, the question posed by the second dealer. The second dealer had just gone to exchange silver at the bank across the street, and no sooner had he entered the grand hall than he heard shopkeeper Wang talk about the marquis daughter losing something in Huichan Hall. He went with shopkeeper Wang to look for it, but unexpectedly saw this scene in the side room. This side room was specifically prepared as a rest area for Gu Jiao. Although Gu Jiao didn't use it often, people rarely intruded. When the maid said, "She stole my young lattice belongings," they thought it was a little thief who had sneaked in. But then they found there were only two people in the side room, Marquis maid and Miss Gu. So is Miss Gu the thief the maid was referring to? The little maid didn't know Gu Jiao. When she saw the second dealer and shopkeeper Wang come up, she immediately pointed to Gu Jiao and said, "It's good that you are here. It's this little thief who stole my young lattice jade pendant. She stole my young master's jade thumb ring too." The second dealer was stunned. Might there be some misunderstanding? She wouldn't steal. How could the little girl steal? She could freely access his accounting room, and she had never touched the valuable objects in there. Moreover, the girl's eyes were clear. If she had really been caught stealing, she wouldn't be so unashamed, surely? But shopkeeper Wang didn't think so. Although he hadn't accompanied them to the Marquis residence that day, he heard about it from the second dealer and the old doctor later. It was Miss Gu who had saved the young Marquis. She had the opportunity to steal his jade thumb ring. Moreover, the day the Marquis daughter came to Huichun Hall, the jade pendant was stolen and appeared on Gu Jiao's desk, which made shopkeeper Wang suspicious. The little maid became angry. "What do you mean she wouldn't steal? Mean to say I am falsely accusing her? What does she amount to, that it would be worth it for me to travel all the way here to frame her?" This was not a pleasant thing to say, but the logic was not unreasonable. The maid worked for the Marquis. Her status was even more eminent than many rich families' daughters. If she wanted to slander someone, she would pick someone of suitable standing. Gu Jiao was like an ant on the ground. She wouldn't go out of her way to squash her. Unless she really stole something from the Marquis residence. Are you sure you didn't mistake this for something else? There are many things in this world that look the same. The second dealer still stubbornly believed in Gu Jiao's innocence. "Mistook?" The little maid grinned sarcastically. "Do you think the ornaments my young lady and young master wear are cheap stuff from the street? This jade pendant is a gift from the palace. Your entire Hu family couldn't afford it, even if you were to squander all your wealth." The second dealer's face turned pale for a moment. If it's such a precious item, it certainly couldn't be Gu Jiao's. But he still didn't believe that Gu Jiao would steal. Isn't it possible that it could be a fake? Perhaps the item in Miss Gu's hand is fake. Shopkeeper Wang glanced at the second dealer worriedly. The second dealer had absolute trust in Gu Jiao, which would undoubtedly offend the Marquis residence. He did not want the second dealer to get into trouble. Just as he was considering his words, planning to persuade Gu Jiao to confess, and not to offend the Marquis residence, Gu Jiao said faintly, "It's not fake, it's real." "You heard her. She admitted it." The little maid said viciously, "You rue." A gentle, distinguished voice slowly sounded from outside the door. "Miss, you're here." The little maid immediately assumed a respectful expression and bowed to the young lady. The young girl, wearing a dark veil, raised the gauze of her veil and her skirt hem, and walked slowly. Her demeanor maintained elegance and composure. She was wearing a perfume that could only be afforded by a noble lady from the capital. As she moved lightly, a faint essence filled the room, making the atmosphere fragrant. "Achoo!" Gu Jiao sneezed. She was allergic to this kind of perfume. The little maid glared at Gu Jiao. Seeing that she didn't bow to her lady, and even dared to sneeze rudely, she thought that a village girl was just a village girl, never able to be refined. The young lady spoke as usual. "This jade pendant cannot have a counterfeit. The jade used is a Kunlun mountain mutton fat jade, and in Zhang country, only the royal family has the right to mine it. Counterfeiting things used by the royal family is a serious crime. Let alone it is impossible to replicate it exactly." "Oh," Gu Jiao touched her chin. "You, what's that attitude?" The little maid continued to glare at her. But because the Marquis' daughter was present, she was not as domineering as before. The young lady looked at Gu Jiao and said in a warm voice, "You are that little drug boy, right?" "MHM. Gu Jiao responded, without asking how she had guessed it. It was not hard to figure out. The young lady said slowly, "Take the jade pendant as a gift, return the thumb ring to me, and I'll act as if nothing happened." "Miss!" The little maid stamped her foot. Shopkeeper Wang did not expect such a dramatic turn in the situation. The Marquis' daughter was truly magnanimous. Such a valuable item was given away without a second thought. Moreover, she didn't publicize it, saving both Miss Gu and Hui Chunhal's reputation. Seeing that Gu Jiao remained silent, the young lady continued. The jade pendant is mine. If you like it, you may take it. But the thumb ring belongs to my brother. I need to get it back to return to him. Shopkeeper Wang was anxious at the side. He thought, hurry up and agree, hurry up and agree. Gu Jiao looked at the young girl expressionlessly and said, take back the thumb ring, leave the jade pendant with me. She had suspected earlier that the jade thumb ring belonged to the young marquis, and now it confirmed her speculation. She did not explain that the jade thumb ring accidentally slid into her sleeve pocket while she was rescuing the young marquis. Firstly, she could not describe the rescue process, and secondly, they would not believe it. So why waste her breath? The young lady said, you sure do know how to pick things. This thumb ring only has special significance to my brother. And when it comes to value, indeed it's not as precious as the jade pendant. Gu Jiao said, the thumb ring is yours because it indeed belongs to your brother. The jade pendant is not yours, so you have to return it to me. The little maid snorted, not our master's? Could it be yours? Don't you pee and look in the mirror. Can you even afford such a valuable jade pendant? The young lady, you rue. The second dealer frowned. Please watch your language, young lady. If you don't believe me, I can't help it. Gu Jiao finished, stretching out her hand. I'll say it one last time. Give me back the jade pendant. The little maid stepped back. Dream on. This is my young lattice. The young lady squeezed her fingers, suppressing her anger, and said to the second dealer, second dealer, you have witnessed everything today. She has openly admitted to her theft. In consideration of your Hui Chunhal treating my younger brother's illness, I will not inform the authorities. But I hope nothing like this happens again. From start to finish, Gu Jiao only admitted one thing, that the thumb ring belonged to the young master. She never said she had stolen it. However, in their talk, they turned it into her admitting to theft. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 893. Not Working 1. At this moment Xiao Changtian, who was far away, was walking into the bloodthirsty array as if nothing had happened. Ha ha ha, come. As long as you step in, I guarantee you won't survive. Saint Lord 6, who was hiding in the dark, looked at Xiao Changtian excitedly. He was finally going to get his revenge. Hey, First Elder. Why are you in such a strange position? Are you comfortable? By the way, why did that person just now disappear? Xiao Changtian swaggered in under the gazes of several people. When he walked into the bloodthirsty array, he was not affected at all. He could still walk freely in this array. Holy Maiden 3, what's wrong with you? Why did you suddenly stop? Seeing Xiao Changtian walking freely in his bloodthirsty formation, Saint Master Essex's face turned ugly. He looked at Saint Lady 3 with a different expression. Are you crazy? When did I stop? I've been working hard. Saint Lady 3 was dumbfounded by Saint Lord Essex's words, and immediately retorted. Why isn't Xiao Changtian affected by the punishment? Didn't you stop? The three saintesses didn't believe that Xiao Changtian had the ability to stay unaffected by the bloodthirsty formation. Damn it, I didn't stop at all. Saint Master 6 finally reacted. He looked at Xiao Changtian in disbelief. How is that possible? This was simply impossible. No one would not be affected by the bloodthirsty array. The third saintess was also very surprised. She also looked at Xiao Changtian in disbelief. What was going on? Could it be that Xiao Changtian knew how to use illusions? Otherwise, how could he not be affected by their demon race's bloodthirsty formation? Hurry up and increase your power with me. I don't believe that Xiao Changtian can be so powerful. The third saintess looked at everything in front of her and said in disbelief. If she used all of her power to maximize the power of the formation, even a Saint Emperor wouldn't be able to block it. She didn't believe that the formation wouldn't be able to do anything to Xiao Changtian. In an instant, the two of them once again injected their mana into the bloodthirsty array. First Elder, Why do you think the surroundings are so strange? Why is there still a red light? Could it be that there were demons nearby? When Xiao Changtian walked to the side of the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, he saw the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets standing there in a daze and asked curiously, "Senior, there are demons nearby." It was because Xiao Qingtian had walked to her side. Therefore, the first elder of the secret pavilion felt that the surrounding power had all dissipated. Even the spiritual energy from the bloodthirsty array was continuously recovering into his body. Senior was really amazing. He didn't even make a move. Just by standing there, the bloodthirsty array couldn't do anything to him. I was wondering why you were standing here so strangely. So there are demon race people nearby. Xiao Changtian nodded his head in realization. No wonder the great elder was standing there so strangely. What's going on? Why do I feel like my body is being devoured by the bloodthirsty array? While Xiao Changtian was talking to the great elder of the Tianji Pavilion in the bloodthirsty formation, Saint Lord 6, who was exerting his strength, spat out a mouthful of blood. Then he looked at Xiao Changtian in disbelief. Impossible. How could that person have such powerful power? Even Saint Emperors couldn't resist this formation. Not only was Xiao Changtian unharmed, but he could even absorb the energy. What was going on? This was because the third saintess was stronger than the sixth Holy Master. Thus, he did not have a huge reaction like Holy Master 6. However, the third saintess still looked at Xiao Changtian in disbelief. At this moment, both of them were filled with shock. An array that could trap, even a Saint Emperor, couldn't trap Xiao Changtian. So what level was Xiao Changtian at to be able to move around so easily? However, at this moment, Xiao Changtian took a deep breath and stretched. Bang! Bang! At this moment, Saint Lord 6 and the Saintess felt as if a huge palm was smashing towards them. The two of them did not have the slightest strength to retaliate. He could only watch helplessly, as he was sent flying in an instant. After the two of them were hit by Xiao Changshan's power, they were sent flying into the distance. Then blood spurted out of their mouths again. This is simply too amazing. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king, who had yet to leave, widened his eyes in shock when he saw this scene. This was simply too unbelievable. In the beginning, when Prime Minister Lu had told him about it, he had thought that Xiao Changtian was an expert on par with the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion. He didn't expect that Xiao Changtian was not the same as the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. It was like the difference between heaven and earth. Xiao Changshan's strength seemed to have reached the realm of God. At this moment, Prime Minister Sun also saw this scene. So, the expert that day was actually this person I didn't notice. Prime Minister Lu originally thought that the ruler had found another expert. He did not expect that it was actually that mortal. He had actually fallen here. Great Elder, if you just stand here, will the demon race people come? Xiao Changtian asked doubtfully, when he saw the change in the Great Elder's expression. The Great Elder had already noticed that Xiao Changtian had sent the two demons flying with just a stretch of his hand. Therefore, Xiao Changtian had already eliminated the demons. Saint Master 6 had already been injured by Xiao Changtian last time, and now he was hit by such a powerful attack, and lost his life on the spot. The third saintess was stronger than the sixth Holy Master, so she didn't suffer any attacks before. Therefore, she was still able to get up after receiving such a heavy attack. Damn it, I didn't expect it to be so powerful. Sixth brother, I'm sorry. I can only go back by myself. After Saintess 3 finished speaking, she covered herself with a cloud of black smoke and disappeared. Senior, those two demons seem to have left. At this moment, the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion could also sense that the two demons had completely lost their aura. I was thinking of doing something, but I didn't expect him to leave so soon. Xiao Changtian was surprised. Originally, he thought that if he could meet a demon with that kind of strength that day, he could still help. He did not expect that the demon would actually leave. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 894. 1,000,000 gold coins 1. Senior, why don't we go back first? There's no use staying here. The great elder of the prophecy pavilion could sense that these two demons must have suffered some serious injuries. Even if he didn't die, he would be half crippled. Senior, I didn't expect you to be so powerful. You really make me admire you. At this moment, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king suddenly stood out from afar. He had just witnessed with his own eyes what true strength was. With this senior, no matter how powerful the fiend race was, it was nothing more than SOSO. He watched as the Jade Nether Kingdom's king walked up to him so excitedly, and called him senior so excitedly. Xiao Changtian was dumbfounded. He didn't do anything just now. Why was the Jade Nether Kingdom's king so agitated? He even called him senior. This was completely different from the attitude he had towards him in the beginning. Senior, I didn't expect you to be so powerful. I'm really impressed. The Jade Nether King looked at Xiao Changtian and said enthusiastically, Grand Elder, is the Jade Nether Kingdom's king all right? Xiao Changtian asked the great elder of the prophecy pavilion doubtfully when he saw how the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was behaving. Perhaps he felt that you were very impressive for not being afraid of the demons. Hearing Xiao Changshan's question, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets immediately agreed. Senior was such a low-profile person. So how could he not know what the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was talking about? It was just that he did not want to expose him. I see. Xiao Changtian nodded in realization after hearing the great elder's words. Isn't the Jade Nether King just two demon race people? What's there to be afraid of? Besides, the demons are similar to our human cultivators. Dealing with the fiend race, he did not need to worry too much at all. Xiao Changtian consoled the Jade Nether King after he understood. After all, that night before, he had pressed that demon to the ground and beaten him up. So what did this mean? It meant that not all the people of the demon race were experts. Don't think of the demons as too terrifying. Senior, you're right. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king listened to Xiao Changshan's teachings humbly. How is that possible? How can you be an expert? Aren't you just a mortal? At this moment, Prime Minister Sun, who was being held by the Jade Nether Kingdom's king's subordinates, shouted loudly from behind. He still couldn't believe his eyes. He couldn't believe that Xiao Changtian was such an expert. At that time, he had clearly said that he was a mortal. Shut up. You have no right to speak here. After hearing Prime Minister Sun's shout, Prime Minister Lu slapped Prime Minister Sun's face. This Prime Minister Sun was already at this stage, yet he still dared to shout so shamelessly. He really deserved a beating. Since everything is fine, we can go back now. Looking at Prime Minister Sun who was caught, Xiao Changtian understood that Prime Minister Sun had finally received his retribution. He really deserved it. However, I wonder if the demon race will still send people to take the Jade Green Saint Stone. Xiao Changtian sighed as he was about to leave, looking at the demon's unrelenting appearance. They probably wouldn't let this matter rest until they got the Jade Green Saint Stone. Senior, I have an important decision. I wonder if you can agree to it. After hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the Jade Nether King asked in a deep voice. Ruler, I don't know what important decision you have. Why don't you tell us and let us hear? Xiao Changtian looked at the Jade Nether King and asked. I think that since that demon is so persistent, our Jade Underworld Kingdom won't be able to protect the Jade Green Saint Rock at all. Why don't we just hand it over to you, Senior, and have you help us keep it safe? The Jade Nether King looked at Xiao Changtian with a serious expression. There was no joking look on his face. What is it? Leave it to me for safekeeping? Xiao Changtian was even more shocked when he heard the Jade Nether Kingdom's king's words. What was wrong with the Jade Nether Kingdom's king? He actually handed this thing to him. Yes, Senior, we want to give the Jade Green Saint Stone to you for safekeeping. Because I can only put it here with you. Our Emerald Sacred Stones are the safest. However, Senior, I know that you might not agree. Looking at Xiao Changtian, the Yaoming King had a serious expression on his face. Although the Jade Green Saint Rock was a treasure that the Jade Nether Kingdom had kept for generations, the Jade Nether Kingdom did not have the ability to protect it now. Therefore, it was better to give it to Senior. Senior, don't worry. As long as you keep it for us, we'll agree to any conditions you propose. Looking at Xiao Changtian, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king still had a serious expression on his face. He did not joke around at all. Ding! The system reminded him warmly that the Jade Green Saint Rock would be of great help to the host in the future. However, just as Xiao Changtian was about to refuse, the system's voice sounded in his head. All right then. Since that was the case, he would reluctantly accept the Jade Green Saint Stone. Ruler, have you thought it through? Are you willing to agree to any conditions? Looking at the Jade Nether Kingdom's king, Xiao Changshan's expression also turned serious. One had to know that this thing was so precious and was so loved by the demons. He could not take such a huge risk for nothing. No matter what, he had to get the Jade Nether Kingdom's king to fork out something. Senior, don't worry. My Jade Nether Kingdom's king will do what he says. As long as you want something, we will do our best to complete it. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king had long prepared to bleed. Although the Jade Nether Kingdom's treasury did not have a lot of things, they had everything they needed. It was not just high-grade magic tools. What high-grade weapons? As long as it was something Senior wanted, their Jade Nether Kingdom's treasury should be able to take it out. One had to know that the Jade Nether Kingdom was a country with many years of heritage. Its collection was also very rich. Ruler, you said it yourself. You must not regret it. Since the Jade Nether Kingdom's king had said so, then he would have a good meal. After all, he would have to bear the risk of being hunted down by the demons at any time in the future. Senior, please speak. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king was mentally prepared. Even if Xiao Changtian said something, he would not be surprised. All right, I want 1,000,000 gold coins. Xiao Changtian said loudly. 1,000,000 gold coins. How long would it take for him to earn that amount of gold coins? However, 1,000,000 gold coins shouldn't be too difficult for the Jade Nether Kingdom, which had a deep foundation. Silence. At this moment, the scene became quiet. When Xiao Changtian said 1,000,000 gold coins, everyone became quiet. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.